Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray we always do. But before we go a little further, I got to say, I'm Raheem. I'm just a question asker. But standing here with me this morning, my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. This is Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
Man, how you doing? How was your weekend, brother?
It was fine. We had a decent time. Very
Good.
nice.
Now you know I'm trying to be grown this week here, man. By the end of the week, we're gonna do the whole week. But come Saturday, man, I'm gonna be in Vegas, man.
What you gonna be doing in Vegas?
Living a legal, how to living a
Uh,
legal,
Write
how
it
did they
down.
write it
Living.
down? La Vida Loco, ain't that how they say that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did song go, man? Diamonds in the back, sunroof top,
Okay.
living in the scene of the gangster
Uh,
league.
oh my goodness.
Boy, I broke
Just
that thing down on time.
murdering the hits this morning. Just
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
doing
But yeah,
terrible things.
man, spring break, we getting away, brother. That
That's
how they
right.
say, Calgon take me away. Yeah,
I
we
forget spring break. Yeah.
yeah. Spring break started end of the week, man. And so, you know how we do, man. Use my wife.
Right.
She works so hard, man. And so spring break, I like to kind of get away and we go somewhere. I think last year we went to Hawaii, and this year
Nice.
this year we're going to Vegas, man. So God keep blessing us, man. We'll keep traveling. But let what is going on, man, in the political arena, man? How are we looking? What's going on? Give me the ups and the downs, and give me the skinny, give me the skinny,
Man,
and then
ain't no ups and downs. It's the weekend.
yeah, there you go.
But it is what it is. A lot of analysis and things now are coming out about what to expect with the war,
Hmm.
supposedly,
Okay.
and who made the wrong moves and what's next
Hmm.
and what have you, and how do you deal in the world. I think a lot of people forget that uh, Putin has been in office for
Hmm.
quite some time,
Hmm.
and this is how dictators work
Hmm.
and their intent in the world. So I know a lot of people, I'm not sure if it's for, and people do it here on this show as well. What's to be surprised about?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is really to be surprised about? You
Hmm.
act as if you don't know this mindset. Imagine this mindset with a lot more power and authority behind,
Hmm.
because the same mindset is occurring on different levels
Yeah.
in communities and things like that. This is no
Hmm.
different than a person in your local level who believe that they have the right to trample on other people and
Exactly.
that other people are just merely expendable for
Hmm.
whatever reason or purpose that they have in their mind. These type of people have to be eliminated,
Hmm.
and they can't be allowed to do certain things, like, say, for instance, violence in your communities and things of that nature are
Hmm.
committed by people who think that it's okay
Yeah.
to do whatever they want to other people.
Hmm.
So this the whole notion of you can't believe this and you can't believe that, you don't read.
Yeah.
You must not be, I don't know how old you must be,
Hmm.
but given some power and authority, the actual you will come out.
Yeah. It destroys people, bro.
It
It
will
really.
destroy you if it's out
Mhm.
of control.
Yeah.
And it will destroy people around you. It will destroy other people. This need Any man who needs to rule the world should be eliminated.
Hmm. Now, you say Putin has been in power for a long time. I remember the
About 20 years almost, I believe.
yeah, I remember Gorbachev. What's his name? Gorbachev.
Gorbachev.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I remember he was in power for a minute, and then that Putin came right after him. Correct?
Yes. And
Yeah.
so you have to remember they went from rebuilding and looking at the world from a different point of view to be
Hmm.
worked with instead of attacked, to want to be a part of the system, to come to the table like everyone else in the United Nations, and all these types of things.
Hmm.
Now look at it now. Out of
Terrible.
control,
Totally.
dictatorship,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
separation. Don't want to be don't want to be a part of nothing they can't rule.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Biden said something over the weekend about him being taken out of power,
Yeah.
Putin being taken out of power. Did people take that out of context, or what did you gather from that?
Well, no, it's exactly what it is. The people,
Mm-hmm.
Russia is actually a democracy that is really still about propaganda and all these things and lying to people, censoring the public. They don't have, it's like a democracy without a Bill of Rights.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to understand that particular type of governance that is really not a democracy.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason, and I want to go to Badger as well, but there's a reason I think why the president of the United States of America get a term of 4 years, and then have to be reelected again by the people. I think there's a reason behind that. I think that was actually started by George Washington, if I'm not mistaken, on that as well. But there's a reason, so you don't have these situations like this. I believe if Trump could have been in presidency for 20 years, I believe he would have wanted to.
Well, I don't go that far. It
Mm-hmm.
you know it because you have the power to elect.
Mm-hmm.
So if you constantly go back and elect a person, they have a right to be president
Mm-hmm.
because it's the rights of the people and the people's choice of who they should be governed by. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if the people are happy with someone, then they should be entitled to go back and continually vote for that person, as
Now, do
long as
you
they want to be of service to the people.
now do you think 2 terms is it fair, or from what you just said, do you think it should be a little more than that?
I'm not a fan on term limitations. I believe in an open democracy where people vote.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
I mean, you can hold the vote whenever you want. I don't care if you hold the vote every 4, every 8, every 16, as
Okay.
long as it's done by vote and the people have chosen that person,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not because you lack the responsibility that these people should be moved out of office. Everyone can be removed from office. The
So you
people just have to demand it.
so basically what I'm hearing you say is majority of the people in Russia are voting for Putin to stay in
No,
office.
no, I'm not saying that
I just wanted
at
to clarify
all.
that. Wanted to clarify that so the listeners didn't get confused. I know what you meant, but I just wanted to throw it out there so they didn't get confused. Explain that to me.
Well, it's not much of a democracy if everybody who runs against you or
Mm-hmm.
opposes you somehow meets uh,
Their demise.
are killed
Yeah.
or murdered, come
Yeah.
up missing, and all
Mm-hmm.
these types of things.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have to be aware that when you look at places and they say they are democracies,
Mm-hmm.
what type of democracies are they?
Mm-hmm.
Are they fully functioning democracies where people have a Bill of Rights, a right to recourse, and things like that when something happens, like, say, for instance, with this issue with Clarence Thomas? Absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
He should be impeached
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's the process for removal.
Mm-hmm.
So there are processes in place for these types of things.
Now he should be impeached based on what his wife did.
Well, he should be impeached on a very simple fact of he used his authority on the bench to try to avoid not prosecution, but try to even avoid the panel being created
Yeah.
to not adjudicate. That's the wrong word. To
Mm-hmm.
investigate
Yeah.
January the 6th for this reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
That's why he should be impeached,
Mm-hmm.
because he used his authority as a Supreme Court judge to try and dissuade the United States of America from investigating
Mm-hmm.
insurrectionists with the government. You're a judge.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Recusal is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be removed.
Absolutely.
And
I
it's
agree.
sad because of what it took for you to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sad.
Oh man, had he had his way, man, it would have never gotten there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let me go to Badger. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Yo, just listening and waking up, waiting for coffee to kick in.
Man, wake up, man. We got work to do around here, man. It's Monday morning. It's Monday morning,
I'm
Badger. But Badger, do you think? Now, let me ask you. And Leonard and I was just talking about a term limit and how long a person should be in an
Boy.
office. Or do you think a judge should be able to sit on the bench until they decide to retire or die?
Hmm. You know, I think everyone up there in the political. Well, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
I
Come on.
think every 4 years they need to go undergo investigation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there are as many people that can fill that position as there are people that can fill Senate and House positions.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting.
The amount of knowledge that a person has to have to, and a moral code to keep keep personal feelings and emotions out of it, or I mean, that's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not be biased.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the law is the law, and to hold every single person accountable. President, senator, house rep, whoever.
Mm-hmm. So, your fella should be impeached because of what he did, try to cover up for his wife.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
family. Just because somebody's family doesn't mean that they get a way out.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
In my opinion, if you're a family member of someone that has that high of a position, you should get it worse.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that's gonna be Leonard. That's gonna be a cold bed. Boy. You hear the day that that's gonna be a cold. That's gonna be a cold bed. I'm gonna tell you, that's gonna be a real cold bed, brother.
Well, hell, if it's a
Well,
cold
no,
bed,
no, it won't be because
yeah.
he's in on it. That's why he should
Mm,
be impeached. He's
yeah.
fully aware of it, of what
Mm-hmm.
goes on. He's
Mm,
always known it. She's always been this way. It's
yeah.
no secret.
It didn't happen overnight.
No, it's no secret.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been a right wingist type extremist. She's always been that.
So is it true when they say birds of a feather flock together?
No, not necessarily, but this is not. But these ain't birds of a feather.
Mm-hmm.
This is husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to claim that he wasn't aware, he's not going to claim that because that would be a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what other guy told a lie of, I don't know what goes on with my business that I oversee or any money that goes. Sure you don't, Nick.
Yeah.
Sure you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Sure you don't. Just claiming that you have no idea what. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
You have to go to. I tell you what, sit under investigation,
Mm-hmm.
and if there's nothing there, there won't be anything there.
Mm-hmm. But obviously there is something there.
Right. That's why he didn't want his wife to be under investigation.
Mm. How do you feel, Leonard, where we are right now? Now, today is March the 28th.
Hmm.
All this stuff happened January the 6th.
Hmm.
Well over 2 months ago. Well over two. Actually, right at 3 months now because it's the 28th. How do you feel about the process and where it is?
Well, it's slow, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's because the people handling it are slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have a
By
if
design?
yeah, well, no, they're just trying to do whatever they can to evade.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, you have to realize there are still people in the government trying to block the investigation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it ain't. I mean, it's not going to be over for a while. They
Mm-hmm.
are moving when it comes to a lot of those people. Like I remember we talked about it before, and I put out the information. If you want to know what's going on, go to the Department of Justice website.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the things they have there, walking people through. If the American people was really interested, they would go and find out what is happening to those people who have been participating.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
give you updates on the charges, convictions, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's best that people go look and see what is actually happening and why is so important. There was an insurrection,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
an attempted insurrection against the government, and the Supreme Court justice, his
Mm-hmm.
wife, played a part in that. He knew it, and that's why he tried to squash this investigation.
Mm-hmm. Badger, how do you feel about the process, man? It's been almost 3 months now. How do you feel about where we are in this whole process? What's been going on and how it's been handled?
Which process?
The insurrection and how they're dealing with it.
Wait. What do you mean 3 months?
It happened January the 6th. This is March the 28th, almost. April the 6th will be 3 months. So we're at March 28th right now, so it's almost 3 months. So how do you feel about the process?
Dude, that happened a year ago, I thought.
I don't think it was a year ago, Badger.
Was it this January 6th that it happened?
If I might have missed some. Leonard, what's
Hold
the
on.
It happened when he lost the election the year before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
21.
Oh, it happened.
Yeah, because this was the anniversary.
Okay.
It happened 21.
Where in the world
However,
I been? Where I been?
I don't know where you been, but
Where
I
I-
think it took almost a year for the committee
Yeah.
to sit and start handling business.
Mm-hmm.
For the
Well,
panel, I mean,
Oh, okay.
but the event itself was in 2021.
Man, where the heck have I been?
I don't know.
And they say right here, a year and 3 months. Yeah, so that makes it worse.
Yeah.
That makes
So,
it worse.
but they have been doing lots of things. So it's not like they.
Man,
they're
why these
not
people
doing
ain't arrested then, man? It's been a year, man.
A lot of people have been
A lot of-
arrested. Some people have already taken deals.
What kind of deal you get for it?
They offer you the same
Insurrection.
deal as they would offer, other people based on the information and stuff. You may be able, instead of having to do 5 years, maybe you got an attorney that helped you get it down to some type of probation or something of that nature. So the deals are. Everyone has the right to make a deal if it's offered to them.
Do they realize some people died in that situation, man?
Yeah,
The guns were never there.
Say it again.
There were people that were there are people that died. However, the issue as a whole and why it happened, a lot of people don't even take it. First of all, some people still don't want to take it seriously. That's one.
Yeah.
But some people don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And so the process is there to make sure people follow the process.
Mm-hmm.
You don't develop a process overnight. These people are looking at serious issues that are being convicted. They have their pictures up, and like I said before, they list a various number of charges. They're not just being charged with being at the event. You have people there who had other gun charges, past histories, things like that. They may have already been under, maybe someone was already on probation for something minor or issues in their past that play a role in how they're charged. I mean, on what they're convicted of. Just like say for instance, murder is enough, but murder with a gun that ain't registered, that's more time.
Yeah.
So you look at the various number of charges. Everybody don't get the same thing because their situations aren't the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you have, and I feel you have so many people, much like the justice. You have so many people that's trying to and I think you said it earlier, trying to cover up this whole situation. They're trying to cover it up.
They're trying to cover up the level of their involvement with this situation on January the 6th, with this insurrection on January the 6th, all the way from tweets in support of it, monies paid for organizing it, you name it. There's a lot of issues at different levels.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And it took them this long because they had to figure out who were they going to prosecute and who they weren't, and what evidence was out there, and let us come get it so we can get rid of it.
I mean, they wasn't wearing name tags, right?
Yeah, but they were on video.
Yeah.
I mean, a certain amount of them, you can look at the video and see,
Yeah.
okay, you boom, 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 and that would eliminate some a
Well,
big part
but
of
and
it too.
basically that's what happened. That's why
Hmm.
they got them pictures up, letting you know if you know somebody or seen somebody there. Here's the line. You can call and let us know.
Yeah, yeah, and that's my point. That's my point exactly. So hold on, we got somebody on the phone. I see we got on the phone line. We got Toya with a T. Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Get married, get married. How y'all there?
Hey,
Good
doing
morning.
good, doing good. Toya, what you think about this? Man, and I don't know where I've been, man. I was wrong as two left shoes on the right foot, man. I said it was but 3 months. It's been a year and 3 months. Man, I was wrong as two left shoes on the right foot. But what do you think about where this whole insurrection situation is right now, Toya? Why is it taking so long for them to arrest everybody, find out everybody that did? People died, man. Why do you think the
Hey,
process is
hey,
so
hey,
slow?
hey.
Yes,
Hey, wait a minute. Stop.
yes.
Why are we still going through this like we don't know what the deal is? We don't need to be asking this question no more. How many years did it take for Emmett Till? We still got unsolved cases.
Mm-hmm.
What you mean?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Every time we ask ourselves that in America, right?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like we're like Tina Turner from Ike and Tina. Like you've been getting beat all the time and you keep asking, oh, why he beat me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We know why it's taking so long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, listen. So, do we remember that when they made the Constitution, there were still slaves? And when they freed us, the Constitution was in play? It's not
Mm-hmm.
for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Constitution is not for us. That is for them. This is a piece of paper. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a spell for us. So long as that is in existence, as long as don't have the clarity, and we still walk around here on government documents as three-fifths of a person, white people ain't never gonna have to deal with the same things that we go through. So that's why. So we need to flip on the next one. And let's talk about why Will Smith, with his old raggedy behind, slapped the taste out of Chris Rock with his grown behind, because his bald-headed wife can't take a
Good
joke.
Lord. Good Lord. See, and see, you getting ahead of me because I'm gonna. That's why I was gonna go next. Now you got to walk with me. Now don't outrun me to the finish line. Let's get to the finish line together. You getting ahead of me, Toy, with a T.
My
you get
bad.
look. You're getting ahead of me now. That and that was gonna be my next conversation. So let's go ahead and go there. You know, I already put it on the table. So let's go ahead and go. And my thing is, I'm not even gonna say. Leonard, let me go to you. Um, why do you think? And people say this is because of frustration and all this stuff built up in Will Smith. Why do you think he went up on that stage, got up out of his seat, walked all the way across that stage, walked in front of this grown man, slapped him, walked back to his seat, sit down, and then commits to yelling and cussing and all kinds of things? What got into Will, man? Will supposed to be this good, clean, good to go guy. What happened?
No, that was a lie. That was a lie.
No, the real
Most of
that's
these
that's the
people
real
that
that's
you
the
see,
real Will Smith.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Oh, were you talking to Toya or
No,
me?
no, no. I was talking to you, but Toya, Toya, she ready to go. She
Oh,
ready to
I
go.
couldn't hear.
Huh?
I really couldn't hear it.
Yeah. No, no. Go ahead. Let him come back. I'm gonna come back to Toya.
Plus, he felt like he could.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever was going on with him, like I said, you never know what was going on. I'm pretty sure he'll have a pretty good excuse once he gets it together.
Mm.
But he was out of control. Now he got the best of him, and now he has the answer for that.
What's
I
it gonna
mean, if you
cost?
think you can do whatever you want to do, that's how people usually up in trouble. Will Smith should have had far more discipline than that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He all in the face, but I don't do too much with the Smiths anyway. He was the last hope for the
Mm-hmm.
Smiths, and now we see a lot of evidence on why things are going the way they're going. And
My
he
thing,
still won,
yeah, he still won, but
but
my
for some reason the Smiths
man, why you keep saying it like that, Leonard?
feel like they can show their natural behind every time the Oscars come around.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they
Mm-hmm.
do. If they don't
Wow.
win, they mad. Not even when they do win, they act up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a mess, man.
But
But
Leonard,
then
let me
again,
hold on, Leonard. What do you think it's gonna cost him?
oh, one, he could easily write me a check for about. Let's just write me a check for $1 for every viewer that viewed the Oscars last night.
Mm.
Like I
Wow.
said, I heard Chris Rock didn't want to press charges.
Yeah, he don't.
because it was an assault in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith could have easily been arrested and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if him and that
Yeah.
man, if him and that guy and Mr. Rock can work it out, but yeah, he'd have to come up with almost $50 million for me.
And my thing is, and he could get that. I believe he can definitely get that, but he's gonna get a
I
lot
don't
more.
care.
He could get a lot more than that. No, I'm talking about no. I'm talking about Chris Rock. He's
Yeah,
gonna
he
get
can
he gonna
justify
get more
how
than-
he wants. He could really justify it in a way to really teach Will Smith a lesson. But I
Mhm,
don't really think it'll take that much. I think Will Smith will go ahead and make that settlement because Will
mhm.
Smith was wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
He ain't
And
gonna
my thing,
fight it.
my
He
thing is
was
this right here.
wrong.
My thing is this right here, Leonard. Chris Rock being who he is, if he do this thing right, he'll get that part of it. But he could go on tour, man. That tour gonna sell out, bro. Just talk about
Hey, like you
the
said,
slap. Just talk
when
about
it
the slap.
happened, how it happened on the stage,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff is
Oh,
gonna happen based on
he
that.
slapped the man so hard that man stumbled, man. Chris Rock stumbled. He
So
threw him to the side, man.
it was just out. It was very much inappropriate, man, and
Hmm.
unprofessional. And
Yeah.
I've never seen him really lose it like that.
Hmm.
There was some things before, but not like this.
Hmm. Exactly. All right, Toya with the T, got to come to you, sis. What's on your heart?
I'm sorry, you said Toya with the T?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, he thought he was one of them surrection folks, didn't he? Yeah, he thought he was one of them. See, that's what happened when you get black in America. Sometimes you think you're privileged too,
Hmm.
and you get out of pocket. You get beside yourself. Now we're talking. I'm sorry, baby. Okay, I got you. So now here we go. They so big, she bald headed, and we can't make a joke about the truth.
Hmm.
Like, come on with the jokes. He was out of line, and he's been in the spotlight. Do you know he got that lady from Fresh Prince fired? He just did
Yeah.
a gold cast
Hmm.
to where he had to talk about how he was so evil on the inside. He got this lady fired for years. For years, they
Yeah.
had an issue, and he just had a come to Jesus moment. But
Mhm.
clearly, you was a come to Jesus fake.
Mhm.
Because then he still turn around and slap the taste out of his mouth. Keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Oh, you must have found out that he banged her 20 years ago, and that's why you mad now. Because,
Hmm.
like, no, that was unacceptable, Will. And it makes me believe, you know how we talk about these superstars, and it'd be like, oh, they're good on television, but behind the scenes, how they really are, he might really be a monster. Like, are you kidding me?
How
On
much
national
do you think?
television?
But Toya, let me
That
ask
is
you
the
this
most
question.
embarrassing, insulting thing you can ever do to a human being.
Toya, let me ask you this question right here. How much do you think it had to do with, or did it have anything to do with at all that shit that she supposed to have this condition called alopecia? I think that's what they call it, where her hair falls out, and it's a medical condition. And because Will was when Chris said it, Will was laughing. He was laughing. He was
At first.
yeah, he was laughing.
Until Jada made a face.
Mm-hmm.
Jada made a face like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when he got up and went and walked over there. You know what I'm saying? But go smack alopecia then. What you smacking Chris for?
Mm-hmm.
Don't come to me with all. Listen, we over 40. Ain't no excuses, man. We ain't no kids no more.
Mm-hmm.
And he was out of line. He was unacceptable, and he made me want to go see him and smack him twice. Who do you think you are?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm telling you. But I appreciate Chris Rock. I appreciate the way he handled that. I appreciate him not going back, because for me personally, he just added to how black people don't have no self control. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You don't do that. He was wrong. He was out of order, and that's it for me and Will Smith. I used to love Will Smith. Not no more. He proved me wrong. He proved me right with that one. He's the worst person ever after what he did to that man on TV. You don't do that to no grown man.
Mm-hmm.
I am blown away.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, it's so many different layers tied into this thing, man. Let me go to we got a few people on the phone line that just called in. Let's go to I think Charity. Charity, that's you.
Yeah, it's me. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
We doing all right over here.
Good deal.
Across the river.
What do you think about this whole Will Smith, Chris Rock slap across the face? And I think one of the reasons why Chris Rock didn't respond at that moment, because Will did it and walked away, and he had. I don't think Chris had gathered himself, because that slap, he slapped him pretty good. I don't think he had gathered himself. and he was trying to pull himself back together, and by that time, Will was already gone to his seat. He was yelling across the room, but he was back to his seat. He back over there sitting down. So, Charity, what do you think about that?
I don't think Chris wanted them problems because I don't walk fast, move fast, whatever. It's a natural black instinct when you hit somebody to snap back real quick. So
Mm-hmm.
you even think about what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to catch your kids doing stuff. You have to hold up. I forgot who you was. You mine. Like I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he wanted problems. But with I think when I looked at it, I kind of felt like it was a joke to Will, but when he realized it disrespected his wife and she didn't appreciate it, I think that's what made him. It gets him because we all know he loves the ground that she walks on. He
Mm-hmm.
worships this woman. So I think when he realized that she didn't appreciate it, and I know they living together, so he's seeing the hurt, whatever her situation is doing to her. I think that's what made him do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to say this because I seen on my Facebook somebody was like, "Oh, well, why did he slap off August?" And I'm like, "Y'all forgetting these people were swingers. Let's not forget that."
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not shocked by he's not shocked by her and Alcina. They're not shocked because they're swingers. If I'm swinging with my husband with another man, oh well, it is what it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not a shock. So why would he slap somebody that he already know about?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
Same reason she never get up in arms about no woman that he's been seen with or he's been with because it's open to them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he didn't slap him. But I just kind of feel like, when he realized that she didn't appreciate, I bet if she would have laughed at the joke and it would have been okay, he would have never done that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think him being her husband and he realized, hold up, this ain't funny to her. That's what made him do that. And because I feel like he kind of could because it was Chris Rock. Because I'm probably, if it was 50 Cent, Bootsy or the baby or somebody, he probably wouldn't have slapped them.
Now you think if it was Mike Tyson, if Mike Tyson would have said that, would he slap Mike Tyson?
Hell no. We all would have been hiding and ducking for cover, even if we ain't even there. I would have been hiding under my bed at my house over here in South Carolina. I've been hiding. He knew. That's what I'm saying. He did. People do things because they know they can do them a lot of times.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like he felt like it hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
If she would have laughed about it, it would have been a joke. But when he looked at her and he looked over at her and she just kind of like, really, you gonna go there? Know what I'm doing, or whatever? And I think that's what made him do it.
Wow, Rico, what do you think? What do you think? And good morning, Rico. How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain, man. Good. I'm gonna say, welcome to a beautiful new day.
Yes, sir. Welcome
to everyone.
Absolutely, welcome to you as well, sir. What do you think this thing is gonna cost, Will? And this, how Leonard said the thing. What do you think it's gonna cost? What do you think it's gonna cost them, man? Is it gonna cost them anything?
Man, look, it ain't gonna cost Will nothing.
Wow.
It's life.
Mm-hmm.
It's life. Those people are human beings.
Mm-hmm.
They're not perfect. And it's a wake-up call for people to stop putting celebrities on a pedestal and expecting them to just go along with the flow and smile. Because you know what? Sometimes black people hear people crack racist jokes and they have to do the politically correct thing. It's comedy. And they have to sit back and smile and laugh uncomfortably.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This woman got alopecia. And the thing is, when you are a family man, you are the man out of the head of the household, you're supposed to defend your wife's honor.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't defend your wife's honor, you got a lot of people to call on radio stations and sit on front that'll say he ain't a man. Cause we got standards that we set of things that a man is supposed to do. So get what he did. He went up there and did what a man's supposed to do, and he didn't care where it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard the sister just say just then, well, why he ain't do it to August Alsina? And man, that's how we do. That's how we do. I'm pretty sure if he could see August Alsina face to face now after everything happened, it's a possibility he would. It's a possibility he wouldn't. But see, we gotta keep things in perspective. In real time, that man wasn't expecting that joke. His wife wasn't expecting that joke. In real time, he tried to do what Hollywood would call for you to do, and then just sit back and take the joke and smile and bear it because you are right here in the grace of excellence, and this is how we perform. Mm-hmm. Even when people go overboard and laugh and pick on your wife's disease.
Mm. Wow.
So now you supposed to know. Now you supposed to just sit back and say, "Oh yeah, you know what? This is all fun and games and jokes." Even when they're talking about serious things, and even though when it hurts my wife's feelings, oh, it's all jokes. Nah, we'll say, you know what? It's integrity over everything. See, y'all didn't listen to what Monique told Steve Harvey. We keep on going along with this European standard of how you're supposed to conduct yourself, even when you're being disrespected for the name of the situation. No, that man defended the honor of his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I
So,
bet you Chris gonna think twice about reality and jokes in Hollywood.
mm-hmm.
See, because these people hire us to actually demean each other sometimes and call it entertainment. But you have some people still at home that have to deal with the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Look what the transgenders got to do with the Dave Chappelle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know? So I mean these conversations once again are conversations that really shouldn't go too far. It's life, stuff happens, and we all lose control and go get out of character sometimes. Now for us to try to hold him to a higher standard just because he got money and he in Hollywood and now he's supposed to be a bigger chump or a bigger gentleman or he's supposed to be the bigger person every time. Nah, I don't think so. This is real life. That man put on his legs one
See,
leg at a time, just like that judge that was on that Friday.
mm-hmm.
What type of music you listen to for you? Man, she listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not in, I don't care what she listen to. I just want to know that she gonna do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And so right, what happened with Will? We found out that Will is human, Jada is human, and he did something that the average NIGGA would probably do sometimes if you disrespect his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Why we feel like he shouldn't be a man.
Well, see, my thing is, it's not that he shouldn't be a man. And excuse me. I look at the way things play themselves out. And my thing was, yes, to your point, he probably was doing the Hollywood thing. He was sitting there laughing, like, he was laughing along with everybody else. And Jada wasn't
He
impressed.
tried.
Jada wasn't impressed at all. And I'm just wondering
Mm-mm.
how much of that ignited him, or did she say something to him to ignite him to the point where I have to do something. And was that the
Well,
best thing to do?
I
Was
look
that the
at it
best
like
thing to
this.
do?
I saw him smile,
Yeah.
but he smiled, but it was uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if she would have smiled, it would have been uncomfortable. Then they both would have been uncomfortable. But like I said, have you ever been somewhere where somebody told that black joke or said something to you that was racist?
No,
and then you just had to sit there and go along with it because you don't want to get out of character. He tried. He tried, and then he looked at his wife and seen, you know what, man, I can't play this. I can't cover this up. What would I look like to still sit here and keep smiling and acting like it was all jokes, but then looking at her like, oh, honey, it's a joke. Don't be so. No, she was disturbed. And so he did what he was supposed to do because he didn't like it either.
So
just because he put on that smile, you know, we all smile sometimes and put a look on our faces, even though we don't feel that way.
Okay, let me say this to you, Rico. Let me say, so in what I'm hearing you say right now, the ownership should be placed on Chris Rock for the joke that he made about Will Smith's wife having alopecia. But my thing is this right here: there are other people that I heard one person say, okay, at the beginning of the show, they make jokes at both of them talking about we're not gonna have no what's that little thing Jada said they had what's that verbiage she used, man, about the affair. She said they had what's that thing they said?
Oh yeah, oh man, that's crazy. We be saying the word if we were trying to think of it.
Exactly. See, it was something they said about an affair, but it's a certain word, entanglement. Thank you, Toya. There you go. Entanglement. Now they made jokes about that, and both of them sit there and he laughed about it, okay, and let it blow up. Somebody else said, I think your girl said something when she was calling everybody up on the stage. That's another episode that happened, and nothing was done with that. But when Chris Rock went on the stage and he made the joke and he said, "I love you, Jada," blah 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 blah, and I could understand what everybody is saying. It was based on the alopecia part of it, but at the same time, he came out, "I love you, Jada." When the movie come out, whatever the name of the movie, what he said the name of the movie, when it come out, I'm gonna beat out something to that effect. Will laughed, did the did the little Hollywood thing, and they had the camera on Jada, and you could tell she wasn't impressed at all.
Well, what would you have done if that was your wife? You laughed and looked and seen, even though it might have been uncomfortable, but then you laughed and looked and seen that she didn't think it was funny. You might not have went up there and slapped him, but were you gonna keep on laughing?
No. Actually, my wife asked me the question last night. She asked me the same question last night. What would I have done in a situation such as that? And I told her, I don't know exactly. It's hard to say what you would do in that situation.
Right.
But my thing, I also could say this though. I wouldn't not have sit there and laughed like it was funny. It wouldn't have been funny to me. Would I have gotten up, walked on the stage and slapped him? I don't know, but I definitely would have had a conversation with him though before the night. Even though, yo, man, you got to talk, bro. Come here, man. You because this ain't the first time you did something like this. Come here, let's talk, bro. We gotta talk about this.
See, that's why I say it's really hard to say. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I
yeah.
mean, he do a lot of acting, but there wasn't no script for that.
Mm-hmm.
He was put in the place that the average man is put in, where his wife's honor
Mm-hmm.
was disrespected. And
Mm-hmm.
the entanglement thing, that's one thing. You know what I'm saying? She made a choice to create that situation, but she didn't make a choice to create alopecia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and Chris know it. That's why Chris tried to flip it around. It was a joke about G.I.
Yeah,
Jane.
yeah,
No, it
yeah.
was a joke about Jada in her head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't try to flip it around. But see, that's what people do when they like to push the envelope as comedians or actors or whoever they are entitled as entertainers. They like
Mm-hmm.
to push the envelope to the point where they want to see until they get proven and put in their place that look, some lines you can't cross.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're
Exactly.
all human. I mean, they crossed the line with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, we saw what society and the media and the comedians did to him.
Yeah, yeah.
He tried to put on a bright face, but a lot of that stuff stuck with him.
Mm-hmm. It did. It did. Let me go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say about this whole situation?
I mean, I actually first came across it when I first woke up. Yeah, it's interesting because some people are thinking, calling Will Smith all kinds of names and belittling him and things like that for doing it, or saying that the only reason he's getting away with it is because of who he is and the politics of all that stuff out there. And, you know, and sometimes I just want to make the comment, you know, how about if he made a joke about the Holocaust or slavery or rape victims and things like that? Then would people actually, have some kind of sympathy if someone would have walked up there and slapped them for making a joke like that? Or
I
is
think
it perfectly okay because he made fun of somebody with a disease?
okay. I think I think that's pretty much apples and oranges. We comparing apples and oranges here. I think that's two different. I think that's two different layers of what it is. I can understand what you're saying, but I think that's two different layers of what it is. And my thing is, maybe he did, and he will get a pass because truth of the matter, if that would have happened at an average show and it would not have been those people. Will would have been arrested if he not been a celebrity, quote unquote, a celebrity, receiving an award. And he probably would have been arrested on the spot. But Chris Rock decided that I'm not going to press no charges against that man. I'm not going to do that.
See,
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that's been pointed out to me by some people and things is our tolerances.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Mm-hmm.
people say that, quit holding wearing your emotions on your sleeves or things like that. And in some instances, I can kind of understand. Yet, when it comes to certain things, I guess it's good to learn how to laugh about things when it comes to diseases or trauma or things like that. I guess as a tool to work through them.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, how traumatic is it for his wife to deal with what she's dealing with?
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So, and that's why I said the other things, because all of that stuff can have trauma
Yeah.
depending
Yeah.
on the individual and how
Absolutely.
it affects them mentally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, if he stood up because he saw that Jada was affected by that joke,
Mm-hmm.
causing
Was
her
he
to have a
was he right?
reaction,
Was he right in that instance? Would he be right?
would he be right if he went up there because it was there was a joke about a rape victim?
No,
And
about alopecia. He said what he said. We're dealing with the situation at hand. He
I,
said,
I,
would he have been right? Was he right for going up there slapping Chris?
if he was talking about my wife, I probably would have done the same
Okay.
because
Okay.
I know what trauma's like. I know what it feels like to have something that people joke about. In the
Mhm.
gaming communities, it's crazy how they use the word autism as a um oh, that person's autistic
Okay, good deal.
or whatever disease.
Good deal. We switching gears just a little bit. Let me go to Monique. Monique, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Monique, what do you think about this whole situation? Was Will right? Was he wrong? Is it a great thing that he stood up and he and stood up for the honor for his wife and stuff? What do you see in this whole situation?
I understand. I understand why he did it. Because so they were showing different angles of the when Chris Rock made the joke. They were showing different angles, and I noticed that when they had panned to Jada, she didn't laugh.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of had a like thrown back look. And I think Will kind of did a little smirk. And I guess after it sat in a while, he probably realized, okay, Jada didn't, you know,
She didn't
take
like
this,
that.
to,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't like it. And she always, I think for the past few years, she talked about it, that bothered her. So I get it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. The
Wow.
only thing that I would say to Will is, when you hit somebody, don't just turn your back because you don't know if they're gonna come back at you. Because it looked
Mm-hmm.
like Chris Rock, you know,
Chris was dizzy.
looked like he was gonna make a move, but then he thought about it.
No, Chris was dizzy. Chris was dizzy. He was still dizzy. He couldn't even talk right. He said, "We up here." He was a little dizzy. That brother he was a little dizzy. He was just a little bit dizzy. He wasn't gonna
He
make it.
handled it good though. He
Huh?
came back good, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give Chris a hand
yeah,
on
yeah.
that,
He
man. He
did.
came back real good, even though he was gonna cough.
Yeah, exactly. And truth of the matter, that whole situation could have got very ugly, man. It could have got real ugly real fast with him going up there. And my thing is, don't slap me. I will feel better if you come up there, if you punch me, but don't slap me, man. That's it's something about a slap, man. Maybe I don't understand it. I don't get it though. Don't. You ain't gonna slap me. Tucson, good morning. How you doing this morning? Tucson.
I gotta find my mute button. So just in case you jump on me, I gotta find my mute button.
What do you
Oh,
what do you see
life,
this whole
life,
situation, man? Talk to me.
life hits you.
Mm-hmm.
Life hits you at a certain moment, and you don't know when it's gonna hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to do something, but you got to be careful of how you do it and who you do it to.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was the perfect one, he probably wanted to slap Jada for looking at him
Lord.
like that. So he looked around the crowd. I remember. Let me tell you. I remember when
Lord.
I had a brother that had the use of just one arm because of something that happened in life, and we was playing basketball, and the two people that was on his team was passing the ball to each other, and he wanted the ball because even though he was playing with one arm, he was playing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in frustration of all that happened, the most available person, he went up to it and slapped him.
Mm.
Sure did. Now he knew all of us was there with him, so if there was going to be a fight broke out, there was just going to be what it was to be. But what I'm saying is, I think I'm like Rico. That's not going to come too much after other than probably just me. One gonna call the other one to the house, and they're gonna say, "Man, you know what? We just got caught up in the moment. I'm sorry."
Mm-hmm.
It had to be friends like that for it to go down like it did.
Mm-hmm.
But them folks been going through some stuff for a minute now. We've been watching them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And Tucson, that's
you've been watching, right?
and that was gonna be the next part of what I was gonna ask the question. And we got another caller. Going to go to the call in just 1 second. But when you put yourself out there, when you put your whole life story out there, not saying that it, has anything to do with it, and that whole egg last night was wrong, but they got a red table talk and all that stuff in there, and they putting all these business out there in the public. Sometimes you got to let your private life be private, man. And then when somebody step into your life in that way, it could sometimes be an issue.
Yeah, but you see what happens. This is just me now. I think because of society has been in their lives for a while, you have to break it out through in the middle of society
Mm-hmm.
and let it just take its course.
Mm-hmm.
So as their lives, just me, just me,
Come on.
as their lives unfolded before the whole world, the whole world had to see his frustration right at
Mm-hmm.
that moment.
Wow.
So here's the perfect person to take it out on, because he couldn't take it out on Jada.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't take it out. You forgot about his son
Mm-hmm.
or his daughter.
See now, see now you're acting up. See.
See now, wait a minute. See what I said it for a reason. See,
Mm-hmm. I know you did.
at that point, if I was right there, I probably would have. He probably, if he thought he could, he probably would have come up and slapped me because he's frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
He's frustrated about life.
Yeah.
And we do that. We just don't slap folks.
Mm.
We just go off and we undermine them and uppercut them at the wrong moment. We know who to talk to for yourself.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm just speaking for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't speak for nobody else. I promise you, I don't do that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying me. This came out of Donald Toussaint's mouth from Opelousas, Louisiana. Nobody else.
Send an email to donaldtoussaint@gmail.com. Send it to donaldtoussaint@gmail.com. Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning?
What's going on?
what do you think about this whole situation, man? Who was right? Who was wrong, Kurt? Talk to me.
I don't know. I really don't know because I took stage combat before.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I took stage combat before.
Mm-hmm.
And
Lord Jesus.
I don't know if that was an act or if that was real.
Mm-hmm. How did it appear to you?
I mean, it was the Oscars, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It appeared real.
Mm-hmm.
I applaud Chris Rock because he just took it and kept going on. I mean, most of us, they'd have had to put an X on TV or go to commercial, cut the commercial,
exactly.
the commercial.
Quickly.
Cut commercial.
Wow.
Right here, and I know Will been going through some things, and Jada been going through some things. Yeah, I mean, I would love to know what Denzel said to him when he pulled him to the side. But you know what? I see this as an even larger problem, man. Because there are certain people that's in the public eye who, I don't want to say made it okay, but who have done some things.
Enablers?
Believe that.
Are you talking about enablers?
Huh?
Are you talking about enablers?
Did you say enablers?
Yes.
No, there have been some things that some powerful people have said about other people's wives that, have kind of made it okay for folks to comment on.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta understand, every man is not going to tolerate
nor you talking smack about their wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, you know what I mean? And I don't know everything that's not going on, even though a lot of it was self perpetuated by the Smiths. So if it's real, it could just be that that man just done got tired of people, running his wife in the ground, man.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I mean that's one way to look at it, but there's that Toya, go ahead, Toya. Everybody mute your line. Everybody mute your line so we don't have background noise going on. What's on your heart, Toya? Toya? Okay, we might have lost Toya there for a second. Rico, talk to me, brother. Rico?
Yeah, I'm thinking about what you were saying. I'm thinking about what you were saying about the light being in the public view.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, we just think that. Now, if you really have been paying attention the past few years, after the entanglement and all this, openness they've been having, Toya mentioned the gold cast that we had. You may remember or recall there was a situation where his children were going through a process.
Mm-hmm.
We just looked at it as that's what people in Hollywood do. But really and truly, they were going through a whole different thing personally than what the public was seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember he was saying that his daughter made a comment to him, and he didn't get it till later on, till all this stuff came out about the entanglement. And he said that his daughter said, poor dad. He really believes the image that we put on and think that is really how our family is. So what happens is when you become a Hollywood family and you have to worry about your image, you always have to put on a good look and a good face for the cameras and when you're in public. You can't never be seen being regular or doing regular people things.
Exactly.
So his children started going through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? When she made that little hit song, Whip My Hair, man, she was going through a whole lot of other crazy stuff then, and it played out in the public. Afterwards, she left home and emancipated herself, remember? This is his family, Hollywood. Will Smith and Jada, daughter, emancipates herself. Is Jaden straight or gay? He's making movies, kissing me. I mean, they were going through it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the time that I'm trying to find themselves. And so what the problem was that he felt like his family was really the family that they had put out in front of them cameras. Remember when he had to slap that reporter a couple of years ago and they had to go back and start smiling and doing the rest of them interviews on that red carpet, but he kept looking back at that dude like, man, I'll beat you to death. Trying to kiss me in my lips.
Yeah, yeah.
But he had to put on that face for the camera because he got to please the public. So what he had to do, he had to please the public. And the public thought, look at them, y'all. Look at what the cameras are showing. But his family was like, nah, man, it's a whole total different mess going on. We thought they were swingers. I heard that comment earlier. Guess what? Will said that was a lie. We thought we knew their business. We think they live in their eyes in the public eye, their lives in the public eye. No, we're just seeing what they want us to see because they need to make sure that they look good to us. But deep down behind the scenes, you got people screwing kids, beating their wives, doing dope. But we have this image in our head that makes us feel so good, and then we feel like what we see, that's what it is. To me, that's an indictment on human beings that's caught up in entertainment and idolization and not caught up in reality. That really goes to show you just how much effect the camera has. Paparazzi. Because we'll see all these things, man. You ever seen these rappers with this money and this and that, but then you find out they was broke.
The whole time.
Somebody else was making all the money. But we'll see and think they got it going on. All these things, these tricks that they play with our eyes, these magic spells, when really and truly reality is totally different. So now everybody's shocked that Will did something that the average man would do. But guess what? He probably smoked a blunt too.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of other stuff that he does that average people do that some people might not believe it because it's Will Smith and Jada. And even though we're not supposed to idolize people, we put people on pedestals and believe that they jump in their pants at the same time, both legs, they turn a somersault, pants stand up on their own, and they just jump into the pants and shoes all together. They don't put them on one leg at a time. Matter of fact, they don't even bleed no more.
Wow.
because they famous.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Cap Dennis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. How's everybody doing?
Hey, doing good, sir. We talking right now about this whole situation, this Will and Chris Rock situation. What do you think about that? What led up to this point to make Will get up out of his seat, walk across the stage, and slap the man as he did?
Well, I'm very happy that it
Your your
took. I,
your Captain, your phone is just a little bit low.
can you hear me now? How we sound?
Okay, it's a little bit low. Can you turn your volume up just a little bit for me, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me do something. I'm on the road right now. How's
Okay,
everything now?
it's a little better. Go ahead. Talk to me.
Okay.
What do you?
Well, I'm very happy to be able to see that these comedians they cross the line, man. They go into the
Raheem, I can't
audience.
hear him
You can.
Can you
They said
can you hear
they
me
saying
now?
they can't hear you. Yeah, they
Okay.
saying they can't hear you.
at all. Not one
All
piece.
right. Give me a chance to go with my iPod.
Yo, we can't hear him,
Yeah,
man,
what
at all.
no, hold on. He's now what he was saying though is a lot of time these comedians cross the line. That's what he was saying. That's what. Go ahead, Cap.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better, much better. Yes, sir.
Can you? All right, all right. What I was saying was, dear brothers, is that these comedians have really started crossing the line. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to understand that some things are very sensitive. Will's wife has a certain disease that causes hair loss,
Mm-hmm.
and when somebody's struggling with that, that's just not no time to make a joke out of it. It's
Mm-hmm.
not no time to make a joke out of people who are very suicidal. I mean, there's some things that is not funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's very disrespectful. And I understand that because, we had a couple incidents where a comedian there was a comedian of BET, he made a joke in reference to the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
Mm-hmm.
And the joke was so untasteful, so disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
that we did what Will Smith did. We
Mm-hmm.
went up on the damn stage and whooped his ass. That's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
We got in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Johnson called Jesse. We had to sit down and have a meeting with the minister about how we whooped that boy's backside.
Mm-hmm.
The man made a reference that was very disrespectful. He did not just insult the minister, he insulted 1 billion Muslims. And he
Mm-hmm.
better be glad that we handled the business than to have him in hiding like Solomon Rushdie. There's a
Mm-hmm.
Muslim that's still in hiding because he made a disrespectful reference to Prophet Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some things that just not funny. When a
Mm-hmm.
man said, he came on the stage, he said, man, I like pork. I like pork so much I spit a pork chop bone in Farrakhan's face.
Mm.
But when he said that, he didn't know that Minister Farrakhan's son was sitting in the audience.
Wow.
And when he said that, all the brothers around him, the minister's son just left and disappeared. Next
Mm-hmm.
thing you know, you heard all that drama.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had an answer to it. So the minister had to meet with all the preachers about that. And so the minister said his joke was very untasteful. It started off because Mike Tyson had just got out of jail. And the man made a joke about, look at Mike now, he's a Muslim. This is what the guy that was making the joke said. He said, Mike now is a Muslim. Can you imagine Mike with the Holy Quran in one hand and jacking off with a Playboy book in the other? Very
Wow.
distasteful. Very
Mm.
distasteful.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the brothers handled that business, so the minister told the preachers, he said, if that would have had been aired live, that man would have had put his whole family with the Muslims under threat.
Mm-hmm.
So they took it off the air. And so the minister said in front of Jesse, Joseph Lowry, Bishop Brookins, all of the big preachers. I was in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, what that man said, he needed his butt whooped, and the brothers whooped his ass. And I'm through with it.
Wow.
So the preachers said, well, Farrakhan, if he'd have talked about my Jesus, we'd have did the same. There you go. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
there's some
Wow.
things, man, you're not going to take disrespect.
Yeah.
The man disrespect the man's woman, man. Period.
Yeah. Yeah. let me ask you this question, Captain Dennis. I understand what happened and how it happened, but and a lot of times, like Rico was saying earlier, people get caught up in this little star stable of things. You know, this is Will Smith. He should. Do you think he could have handled it differently, or is that the best way at the best time, the way that he did it?
Well, Will Smith made a very good point. He said, "Love make you do strange things.
Mm-hmm.
You can't dictate how you feel when it comes to love."
Mm-hmm.
How many of us was in school and we wouldn't fight because we were scared of the bully, but as soon as the bully said something about mama, oh my God, we got power. No, you can't dictate to somebody who's in love when to make a move, when not to make a move. Sometimes emotions get out. I'm sure he probably would rethink it. Probably he could have handled it off stage and whooped his butt back in the back. I mean, he could have did that. But his wife, he see his wife was hurt, and he's the man of his castle. So what would happen if he didn't? His wife said, "You gonna let him disrespect me like that, honey?" So he's a champion with his woman. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
He go home, he hero. He care nothing about nobody else.
Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Right, I'm gonna say something because I know my battery's gonna die in a minute. I'm out here walking. But man, the brother, he right on point. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with him because this is the thing about it. We are looking at it because Will Smith is the Fresh Prince and he's the rapper. We're looking at it like that. I'm gonna tell you about another Will Smith though. There was a Will Smith, and it might have happened in Atlanta. I don't know. It might have been Louisiana. But there was a young man and his mother in the store. And he was on his way to court for murdering this boy and his sister before the boy hadn't even graduated. On his way to court, had been out of prison or been out of jail for 3 years, 21. And guess who walked in the store and seen him? The boy that he killed, Daddy.
Wow.
Now, guess what that boy Daddy did?
Took him out.
He ain't gonna worry about going to court no more. Now he got to go to court for a life. But see, he could have handled it different. But see, when somebody do something to somebody, people that you love, or somebody, we've all been in a situation where we would have buttered a joke, but it wasn't nothing funny. It was something bad. Something terrible happened, and somebody told to laugh, and we probably caught them in their mouth. That ain't funny. Well, guess what? Just because the camera's rolling, and the white man's Hollywood says that we could crack jokes and anything goes because we can cross all kind of lines for the sake of entertainment. Guess what? Ain't nobody gonna do no more. They'll never disrespect that man and his wife in his face again. They better do it when he ain't there. See, sometimes you got to put your foot down, like Captain said. Some things are not funny ever. People having diseases and illnesses and handicap. Remember Donald Trump picked with that handicap reporter?
I remember.
Imitated him in their face. Somebody should have went up there. I wanted him to do worse than that to him. I knew then what type of monster he was.
Exactly.
So I mean, you know, we have to remember, man, these are human beings. Will Smith is the same as that man that walked in that store. He put his pants on one leg at a time. He bleed. He got feelings. He got a wife, and he got to protect his family. And he loved. He got feelings.
Good deal.
So the same thing that man did when he walked in the store and seen that boy that killed his son. The way he responded, he could have did it differently, but that's how he responded then.
508.
So I mean, you know what?
Go ahead, Rico.
Go ahead.
508.
But no, I'm just saying that's how Will Smith responded, man. We just got to make sure that we remember that they are human beings, man.
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. We're talking about the situation that had happened at the award show last night and how it was handled. What do you think? Give us a call. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Oh, no, just listening. But, you know, listening to the conversation. I don't see how y'all don't understand war. Where do y'all think other people disagreements come from? Little things said here and there that people lose their control. And if they got enough guns, they'll do whatever they want to do. So, you know, it's the same thing on another scale. But, you know, to say we're right or wrong, I don't know. It's his business.
Mm-hmm.
But what people need to know is that a black man produced that show last night, didn't he?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Will Packer. This
Yeah,
was the
he did.
first. This was the first show where the production was given to black people, a black person. I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is Chris Rock's usually asked to do the Oscars, right?
Yes.
So it's an institution, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, above and beyond the whole comedy thing and what people think or whatever, you do whatever you big and be bad enough to do.
Mm-hmm. Now, Toya, from a young lady standpoint or viewpoint, what do you see? What do you see in this whole situation? Oh, I think Toya's muted. Let me unmute her. Toya, you there? Toya, you there? Let's go to Monique. Monique, what's on your heart?
I'm sorry, I'm on auntie duty, y'all. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Good deal. Good deal. Monique, what's on your heart?
Hey, I get it. I totally understand that what Will did.
Monique, let me switch it for a second here. Let me switch it for a second here. Now, had that been you and your significant other out there, how would you have wanted them to handle that situation? If they said something like that about you on stage, you was in the same situation with dealing with the same condition that Jada's dealing with, how would you have wanted your spouse to handle that situation?
I probably wouldn't have wanted him to go up on the stage, but he could have visited him afterwards, though.
So catch up.
I would have been okay with him confronting him, after the show.
Okay. But can you also understand, like Captain was saying, in the heat of the moment, hey man, you just did that. I'm gonna react. I'm gonna react to the situation right now because it just happened. It's fresh. We're gonna deal with it. Was he wrong in doing that?
I'm not gonna say he was per se wrong. I mean, I understand that it had to happen, or that it happened.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, we're talking right now about what happened on the award show last night. Will getting up out of his seat, walking across the stage, slapping Chris, going back, sitting down, and then yelling at him, keep my wife, blah, 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 out your mouth. You know what he said. Who was right and who was wrong in this situation?
I mean, I applaud. No, really, I mean, I applaud Will, and it was in the heat of the moment thing, and I mean, he's very protective of of Jada, and so I mean, as a man, I don't know how men react, but because I ain't no man, but if somebody said something like that, that offended my wife, I probably would have got up there. And he did good. He just slapped him. I probably would have punched him in the face, but that's just me. I'm radical, and I would have punched him, but he slapped him, so he didn't do the damage he could have done. But sometimes people got to watch what they say. It was a physical. She has alopecia.
Yes.
I mean, that's not. What's the joke in that? I would not have put that. That's distasteful. And Chris Rock, they got to learn their limits, their boundaries.
And the thing about that, I was looking at a clip with Michael Blackson. He was actually on the Breakfast Club. He was on the Breakfast Club, and he was talking about because him and Kevin Hart has a little beef going on right now. He said how they used to be real close and stuff like that. But what he said was, there are certain limitations. There are certain things that a comedian would not cross. He said they don't talk about families and children and stuff like that. He said he said he would never, and a lot of comedians would not cross those lines to talk about somebody spouse or their children. He said he won't talk about that. And Chris last night, like Captain said, he crossed that line. He talked about this man's wife right there she's sitting right there beside this man. Now Will laughed at first, but when the reality of the situation set in, he said, hold on for a minute. And then to look at his wife and see that she wasn't, man, hold on. She ain't feeling this. Hold on. I got to do something. I got to do something. I got to do something right now to let her know that, I'm not gonna let nobody disrespect you. I got you. I got you. Was he right? Was he wrong? That's for personal. That's you decide on your own whether he was right or whether he was wrong. But I can't disagree because me and my wife talked last night. I said I can't disagree with what he did. I cannot disagree with it. This man protecting his wife. Did he expect her to go up there and slap him? She couldn't do it. She wasn't gonna go up there and slap nobody. He the man. Handle your business. Handle your business. Badger, what's on your heart?
I'm just listening to this topic, man.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just one of those things because it's crazy what our society deems acceptable or not acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There'll be times where some jokes aren't allowed and other jokes, I'll suck it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the people that you told to suck it up, told you the same thing about a joke that you were upset about, you'd get your panties in a wad.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always this double standard done by most human beings,
Mm-hmm.
all over the world, and it's like you'll hear people say, don't make fun of, we have enough mental health issues. Don't be making fun of somebody that's got, a disease or an illness or things like that. Yeah, let's get upset at Will Smith for going up there and smacking that person talking about an illness.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow, we're going to say that Will Smith was wrong for doing it, but we're going to talk about how important mental health is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tell me what sense that makes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It doesn't at all.
Does. Mm-hmm.
That's
Right.
why I made the comment earlier about rape victims and slavery and the Holocaust and, deeper, more emotional things that a lot of people can relate to. Or the genocide done to my Native American brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Am I just, if I get upset or want to go up there and slap somebody that's making a joke about it, do I need to just suck it up? Is it acceptable for me to slap somebody then? Or someone to make a joke about my illness or someone else's illness? Oh, it probably is. It's probably not acceptable unless it personally attacks the individual saying those words.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good. That's good. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Come on, Curtis.
What do you want me to say? Like,
Yeah, what?
If the man felt like this guy disrespected his wife and he smacked him, then he just got smacked.
Mm-hmm.
I applaud Chris Rock being able to take that. You know what I mean? Because he ate that one. I ain't gonna lie. Listen, I woke up a little late this morning right here. So when I woke up, I turned. You know me, right? I turned straight to MSNBC. Let me see what didn't get talked about over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing came on my TV was the Oscars.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? You know what I mean? And they say, Will, I just saw Chris Rock get smacked. I didn't know who it was because the frame, it was shot. You could tell that it was shot from the rear camera.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I said, what? I looked. And then they had a soundbite. So I haven't even heard the whole joke. I just heard the part about, don't worry, baby. There'll be a Spider-Man 2 or something like that. He was talking about a sequel to a film.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of clueless right now, but I can say this, that from a mental health perspective, Will Smith has endured so much
that I think sometimes we tend to not even address because of the fact that he is a man, and because of the fact, specifically a lot of times, because of the fact that he is a black man, you know, and being an African American, I don't know why, but sometimes I feel like there's a certain amount of pressure that we are mandated to take when the average person or the average other man, right? The average other man can't even take 25% of that pressure. But the African American man is, I just get this feeling sometimes like society consistently pushes us beyond, pressure bust pipes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I just, when you look at Will and you think about everything that has been going on, the pipe was going to burst sooner or later, man.
Exactly.
It just was.
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I agree with Kurt. If from a mental health perspective, he really has been through a lot, and black men as a whole, and this, what I wasn't going to come on, because first of all, I knew we would be talking about this, and then I knew that there would probably be some people on here that would say, "Oh, you say the black man." Yeah, I'm on that again, because the truth will make you free. We have experienced stuff that other people will probably never experience in their life in this country, and this was at the hand of a black man on a black man, which is our biggest problem. And you could see by the look on Jada's face that she was either hurt or offended by what he did. And even though Will did, he was trying to brush it off, but I think the reality of it set in. And then when he got up there and he started talking about Richard, Venus and Serena's father, that just laid it out for me that he was still feeling the effect of what he did, the movie he did. So, I'm cool with it. I had no problem with him smacking him. He didn't punch him in the face. He slapped him. So he got off good.
Now, Will, when he accepted his award, when he accepted it, he apologized to a lot of people. Do you find it kind of odd that he didn't apologize to Chris?
No, I didn't. He's still in the heat of what happened, and he may apologize to him at some point. But I'm not. You know what? I'm just different, because if me and you get into a fight in front of my mama or your mama, something, I may apologize to your mama at that moment, but I dang sure ain't gonna apologize to you, because we got into a fight for a reason. If I'm fighting you, so I mean, he may apologize later, but I feel like right now, at that moment, he wasn't ready, and ain't no sense in making nobody, because it would have been fake. I don't like fake. I don't like fake. Some people don't mind you just doing things for appearance. No, if I say I'm sorry, I want to be saying it from my heart. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Hey, Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Raheem.
Here's
another. I just want to throw this out there. This is just the conspiracy theorist in me too, right? Has anybody thought about? I don't know if y'all remember this, but Rock kind of shifted on the people who really got him where he is, and it was, to me, his shift was kind of a smack in the very same people. He just shifted. Like over the last probably 5 years, if you've been paying attention, like he just shifted and he started saying some things that just didn't set right with a lot of people, and then he followed it up with that show that went nowhere. It was the show was called Fargo. Do y'all remember that? It was on Fox.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
and I don't know, man. That thing just looked like it. I took stage combat, right? And the Will is just that skilled, but the smack, it had no hit in it, and it had no like real follow through. And what I did watch, because I rewinded it, I watched the position of his hand once he followed him through, and I watched the position of Chris Rock when he smacked him, right? Will didn't lose no kind of balance, and Chris Rock didn't lose no kind of square balance. Like in boxing and football, even in basketball, you're taught to always be square. That means that your feet pretty much is always underneath your shoulders, right?
Okay.
Your center of gravity is always at your hip, right? I watched the way Chris Rock was standing, and when he leaned over, and then comes this smack. And when you look at Will Smith's hands, his hands are like straight locked to where, like, okay, I'm gonna hit you, but I'm gonna hit you with my palm. I'm not gonna hit you with my whole hand.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Good deal.
I don't know, y'all. I do know that it was a classic example of, look, y'all keep pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. I'm not that Fresh Prince dude that y'all think I am. Now we know that here in Baltimore. We
Wrap
know
it
that
up
here
for
in
me, Curtis.
Baltimore. Because Will kind of played this area here. And folks here in Baltimore know, like, yo, like, yeah, he the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but like, yo, shorty, he can carry his own. So I don't know. I thought Chris Rock, because he definitely ate it.
Okay.
He ate that.
Good deal. And see, that's the whole thing right there. We look at certain situations and we get a little sidetracked. We get a little sidetracked on what's really going on and how it happened. And I want to say this right here because I don't want people to think that that right here on the Morning Glow we're condoning violence and stuff like that. But that's not what we're saying. We're not saying that we're condone violence or we agree with violence or what. That's not what we're saying. But we are saying that in certain situations, certain things have to happen, and in certain situations, you're going to defend. You're going to
call for, baby.
You're going to absolutely defend, and that's what it is. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That's why Eastern society doesn't want anything to do with Western society. First off, we don't try to analyze it and get to the point where we're trying to realize if it was staged or not. So you heard them cuss words after he slapped him?
Yeah.
That wasn't fake. So there we go. We're trying to, entertainment purposes, we're trying to analyze if it was staged or not. And we're going to go back and talk about how they were swingers and this and that. But the real point of the matter is that, man, the man lost his character.
Yeah.
Whether it's acceptable, and also it goes to show you just in real life what can happen regardless of where you are. But then here we go again. This is another reason why Eastern society doesn't want anything to do with Western society. Guess what? There are things out there way more important. Issues way bigger. But we're still talking about it. We try to dissect it and find out this and that when it's plain and simple. He did it because he disrespected his wife. But guess what? It was a crime of passion, and he didn't kill him. But I brought up a situation that was equal and the consequences were just as severe. A man killed another man
Yep,
right before
yep,
he was going to court to
yep,
stand trial.
yep.
Pretty much the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You killed my son, I'm fixing to react.
Yep.
I ain't gonna wait for you to get justice. I'm gonna give you justice. Or he could have waited. Well, if he'd have waited and talked to Chris and slapped him later on, it'd have been premeditated. See, human beings act, and
Mm-hmm.
laws are made based off of human beings having natural actions and and behaviors based off of situations.
Exactly.
But instead, we are caught up in so much of the sensational side of it that we can't even just look at the point of the fact that this man is going through things.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a situation where he couldn't play by the script anymore.
Mm-hmm.
See, life ain't scripted.
Absolutely.
So he was put in a situation where he had to deal with a sellout that is known for doing stuff like this. A culture where we feel like, okay, this is such thing called morals. You know, to me, some things are off limits.
Mm-hmm.
No exceptions. Some lines cannot be crossed. But over here in America, we'll cross some lines and we'll find a way to justify it if the end fit the means, you know, like with slavery. Everybody was doing slavery here when people talk about slavery. Everybody did slavery. But guess what they did over here? They crossed the line.
Mm-hmm.
They crossed the line like nobody ever did before. And ever since then, American society and Western culture has crossed the line on morals and humane behavior. They even create bombs to kill people that didn't have nothing to do with nothing. Even though we value life and we value freedom and rights. Mm-hmm. Oh, all men are created equal, but you know, it's morally right. That's what God would want. You know, we are a nation under God.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't gonna get these people to say right. So here it is, we Americanized. We just drinking the Kool-Aid and participating in it and can't even stay on the point of the matter of what's the most important issue with this thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was entertaining and the cameras was rolling. But the thing was, is if the cameras hadn't been rolling, it still could have happened.
Yeah.
And just like the cameras weren't rolling when that man shot that boy and his mama right before court for killing his daughter, his son, and his sister.
Exactly.
So I mean, you know, there are more important issues, but at the same time, we caught up in the sensationalism of it. We caught up in the entertainment value of it. So we want to discuss if they was having swinging relationships in the past, or if the slap was fake. If it was staged, we want to discuss that, and then at the same time, it makes us feel good because it brings more attention or more, I'm gonna say, cliffhanger to the situation. May bring more drama to it, more mystery.
Exactly.
You know, that soap opera mindset. We got it. Sometimes we can see things right in our face, and it ain't a whole lot of dissecting and evaluating you got to do, but then we still want to go and read in between the lines and come with assumptions. Because it makes it more interesting, it makes it more tantalizing. So I mean, you know, we really, man, we messed up over here, man. They got us. Cause I'm listening to this conversation and listening to all the things that's being said, and I'm like, man, some of this stuff ain't got nothing to do with nothing that's important with what happened last night. And even with that being said, what happened last night ain't as important as that man killing that boy and his mama after he seen them in that store before court. But we talking about the celebrities.
Exactly. Captain, let me ask you this question: What is more important? Because we talk about this thing. We've been talking about this thing for a minute. Oh, we just lost him. Leonard, let me ask you the question: What is more important? What happens to you, or how you react to what happens to you?
Well, you know, it's your character. Like, say for instance, I don't do the straw man too much. And what the straw man is you talk about one thing in light of another. And by the end of the conversation, you've replaced it with what really matters. Or false assumptions. The issue is more about self-control to me than anything. And so when I hear people talk about right or wrong,
do you think there was a lack of self-control in the whole?
An extreme lack of self-control on Will Smith's part. You look at the individual that perpetrated this violence. Because one, I'm the type of person is, if I can say something to make you hit me, prepare for me to kill you.
Now let me ask you this question: Can't the tongue be violent as well?
No, but the tongue is very no, and that's the misconception.
A person can't be vicious with their words.
Words can be vicious, but they're very
Yeah.
different than putting your hands on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you put
Mm-hmm.
your the moment you put your hands on somebody,
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I have every right to take your life.
Mm-hmm. But see, my thing is, some people say, and everybody feel differently. But some people will say, I'd rather when just growing up.
People say a lot of stupid stuff, and they want to make it seem that if it's so wise, this was not wise. It just simply wasn't. I believe that Raheem is stuck, but this wasn't a wise thing to do, because of not only I have no idea what him and Jada would have talked about or why he did what he did. The point is something threw him off that evening. Especially, the reason why he was there that evening, having won and things like that. Like I said before, I'm pretty sure he'll come out, and once the PR people finish with him, to try to associate it with what in his mind reminded him of the particular role that he played, like Miss Cassandra alluded to. I figured, that would be a great PR thing. That's what I would tell a client I had. But you would hope that this brother does not believe that he has a right to assault people this way. I mean, I don't want him to have that notion, because like you say, his wife is in this business. His family is in this business. They say whatever they want about anyone. She has a whole show where she talks about so many things and try to correct other people's behavior. And they quote toxic masculinity and all these things. And her husband rushes the stage and assaults a man, not just on the street corner or anywhere else, but on national TV, on the Oscars. That is something that people have to understand. It's just completely inappropriate. And I don't care how you feel about it. Just like you say violence on, or what they call it, in the community is wrong. This is wrong. Because one, you talk about my woman, and so I come shoot your house up for you talking about my chick. How much honor does this woman really have based on her behavior and her character? So what are you defending?
Everybody got kicked out. We're back.
Yeah. I was explaining to people, about the inappropriateness of what happened. And one, if you're looking at the issue, what are you looking at mostly? Are you looking at the loss of control by a young man, a brother? Well, we're going to quit calling him a young man because he got his kids out here. All that man family is in the business. They say and do what they want to do. His wife has a show where she has constantly berated males for toxic masculinity and everything else. So one, this particular issue was an example of an individual losing control. Now, you may think it's right and it's okay or what have you, but a lot of you that do this usually wind up in prison and all these types of things. Now, first of all, you have to make sure your woman got some honor first. That's one, before you come defending anything. She out here in the street. She out here saying what she wants about everybody else. And she's in this business.
So am I hearing you say that she didn't deserve to be honored in that way?
This was no honor. There was no honor in this.
What do you say it was?
It was Will Smith losing control is what it was. He could choose what he wanted to do, and for some reason he chose to do that. So one, you can't separate him from his choice to do that. You know what I'm saying? This brother jumped up with all he has or whatever. He could have stuck that man after this at the after party. But like I tell you, for some reason, the Smiths show they behind when it comes to the Oscars. Man, you was winning tonight. And look what you did to your night.
Well, I see. Look
what you did. Look what you did
that night. There's so many different layers. because my thing is, you're saying, look what he did to us tonight.
That's what he did.
I could grant you a piece or a part of that, but at the same time, you also got to understand, look at what this man tried to do to my night, and not only to my night,
What?
to the woman. Now, some people say, and some people say, and I heard you say that that she has no honor and she's doing this and shit. Okay, all that's good.
No, I
But
didn't
if
say
you
she
look-
didn't have no honor. I said, what honor was he trying to protect?
No, you said that what you said was a person have to have honor, and so I took
Yeah.
that as you saying that she had no honor. And so my thing is this right here: even if a person in your family, if somebody in your family is treating you terrible, is treating you absolutely terrible,
So you go hit
of
them?
because of who it is, you're still going to honor them in a certain way. People got parents that don't do anything for them, but they still love their parent because that's their mom or that's their dad. And so
Fine.
with that being said, this person disrespected, whether she had honor, whether you felt she had honor, whether the world thinks she got honor, this person disrespected the young lady that he loved, that has his heart.
A lot of your sons are dead because of disrespect.
I'm not saying that's not the case, but I'm saying he went up there and did what he thought he had to do.
Fine.
To honor
If that's how he
married
felt,
and had his children.
That's what I'm saying. If that's how he felt about something so simple,
I can't.
he needs to go and get some help.
See,
He needs to go and get some help, because
Okay,
one,
maybe
that
that's
was
it.
not the way to resolve that situation.
Well, to him at that particular time,
Right, to him.
At that
To
particular
him.
time, it was. Yeah.
To him, and no one should follow this example.
Well, again, to him at that particular time in his life, at that moment, he felt it. That's what he had to do. And
Right.
so
I'm not taking that away from him about that, because that's the issue. The issue is Will Smith and his behavior. Nothing else.
Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart? What are you feeling right now? Cassandra?
This, like I said, this platform is all about people having their own opinions about different situations, and everybody on here can have a different opinion about how they feel he should have reacted. He overreacted, whatever. But he obviously felt at that moment that is something that he wanted to do in the heat of the moment.
Yes.
Like I said, I repeat, I have no problem with him going up there and smacking, because unless you've dealt with boldness, or whether it's mental illness or whatever it is, that's not a joking area. You crossed all of the lines when he did that. Because alopecia, women, I have friends that have alopecia. I'm bald because of a medical condition. That stuff is not funny to us. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Under any circumstances. So I don't give a flat rat's ass why Chris made that joke. It was inappropriate, and Will should have smacked his behind just like he did. I don't care what, and Will, he shouldn't care what they think. That's their business. Whatever people think about what he did, that's your business. He did what he felt was right for his wife, and somebody else might not feel like it was right. And it's okay.
Wow.
And that's what I meant by the straw fallacy. This is the same thing people do in the community.
Wow.
They believe they have a right to put their hands and harm anybody that says anything that they don't agree with or don't like, or they feel disrespected by. They believe they have a right to go and do whatever they want to you.
Okay. Hold right there for a second. Captain, what's on your heart, brother? Oh, hold on. Unmute you there. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, I will.
I think this is really, it's not going to be a right or wrong. Everybody has the right to opinion, and I think it's based upon their own personal experience. I think we hold Will Smith to a higher standard, which in reality, anytime you are an actor, you have to get into character. And what happens to most actors, they can't get out of character in a month or 2 months when you spend 6 months trying to get into character. You have to take on the mind, the spirit of the person that you're portraying. So he took on the mind and the spirit of Richard Williams.
Mm-hmm.
And when he took it on, he understood that he had to fight like all outdoors to get his girls through a racist society, that they are the famous tennis players that they are, but the price he paid. So Will had to get into character like Denzel Washington had to get into character of Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm.
It took Denzel Washington a long time to get out of that character.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a man that on the greatest day never got an Oscar. He decided, he could have said, you know, this is going to destroy, but the Oscar didn't mean nothing to him. That day of the Oscar, Will Smith would not be remembered of getting his first Oscar. He will be remembered for smacking the crap out of my man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
came up like a man and said, you know what? I have to apologize to everybody because I took away this whole show by my actions. I'm not apologizing to my man because I may not be through with him.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to understand that Chris Rock had the right to file charges.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But when, you know, there's an old saying in the street, when you're wrong, you don't fight long. And when you're right, you fight all night.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Rock knew he was wrong. And that's it. He took one for the team. And he took a good one too. I mean, I'm not going to say, was it real? You know, when it comes to this kind of show, you don't get no ratings pretending this is something that we playing a bit. When you got serious actors there to receive their Oscar, not to be overshadowed by Will Smith smacking my man Chris. So
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even looking at it like that. But I do see that Will Smith, and you got to understand, for the last 2 years, I've been looking at videos seeing black women disrespected. I get upset at some of the things I see and what happens to black women. So if I see a man defending his woman, I'm not looking at it's Will Smith. The best thing about this whole scenario is that if it was some Source Awards or some Bible Awards, it would have been some gunplay.
Mm-hmm.
It'd have been some gunplay. Because them gangsters, they have a whole different way of handling this in the street.
Exactly.
But these are actors, they out there, they know what each other do. He could have punched him, but he smacked him.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew he was kind of wrong because he crossed that line. Now, the good thing about it, with Denzel Washington went over to him.
Yeah.
And Denzel Washington, man, don't let this take you, partner. You know, you work hard to get to the top. Don't become marred by it. I mean, a brother went over there and counseled his brother. Because every man know how much disrespect. And in Hollywood, all of them take disrespect. That's part of being a part of Hollywood. And there come a time when you stop. When Richard Pryor, I mean, look at Cat Williams. You remember when Cat Williams talked about Michael Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what y'all think. Going up them little boys' booty hole. See? Now, to Michael Jackson fans who don't believe in some child molester, that was offensive.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Michael died, Cat Williams kind of changed his attitude about Michael Jackson. But see, you could have had somebody, some real serious diehard Michael Jackson fan run up on him, and you know, and it could have led to some violence. And we've seen Cat Williams get into some violent acts with some of the people that's part of the audience.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, you have to pay a price. If whatever come out your mouth, you got to be willing to pay the price if it's disrespectful. I don't condone, listen, I'll make it perfectly clear. I don't condone any acts of violence, for real.
Yeah.
But I cannot tell you what I would have done. So we need to not be sympathetic. We need to learn how to be empathetic.
Yeah.
That's what we're asking everybody on this show. Be empathetic to the man. In other words, put your feet in his shoes.
Yes.
Stop trying to judge him. Understand, man, if my woman had chemo and she bawled because she had chemo, and somebody said, you looking like Hugh Brenner, and I know every night I got to deal with my wife and how she got to go through chemo, that ain't funny to me.
Yeah.
I don't care what show I'm on. I'm going to get at you, partner. I suffer the consequences. When that brother told the story where that man found the boy that killed his son, listen, man, he was willing to go to the penitentiary. He can go to the penitentiary with a smile on his face. And you heard mamas always say, I took you in the world and I take you out.
Yes.
And black people always used to have this old saying, boy, I go to penitentiary. So when you hear somebody say, I'm going to, they already made up in their mind the price they're going to pay, but that to them, that's an honor. So we're not condoning Will Smith. I'm empathetic to Will Smith. Of course, you know, we're glad he didn't go to no gunplay. But here's the main thing right now. Here's the main thing need to be done. And this is the part we don't follow through with. We don't squash the beef before the grief. They need some conflict resolution. They need to have Will Smith, some real serious people that respect both of them, bring them into the room and settle the beef. You got right now D.L. Hughley beefing with my man Kanye.
Yeah.
But it's going to lead to gunplay, man. If don't nobody sit these two dudes down and resolve this, then what's going to happen? When the Kanye guys get ready and they already caught D.L. Hughley, he got scared and called security. What would have happened if somebody get at my man D.L. Hughley? Or what would have happened when somebody on his side get at Kanye people? See, we sit here and we feed into that madness. We feed in it, but nobody gonna bring these brothers to the table. What about Monique? What about Tyler Perry? What about Oprah? Ain't nobody gonna bring them to the table to resolve that beef. See, we talk that madness and we watch them and we participate, giving our opinion, but until somebody's dead.
Wow.
And when you have something like that and somebody's dead, then we got to say you should be charged with murder too, because y'all fan the flames with this kind of madness.
Exactly.
We got to stop feeding into it. See, we like sensation. You look at all the videos that's on TikTok. Look at all the videos on Instagram. Violent video, and we love that stuff. But then when you see a man put his knee on a brother's neck, and all you got is a video. I got you on video. Don't worry, brother. I put the damn video down and get this dude's knee off my neck, partner. I need no damn video.
Exactly.
I got it on video. No, man, we feed into this sensation. And we got to be able, now I like what my sister Cassandra said, because it's a mental health issue. That don't mean anytime a man will let his son become a female. Now, that's the personal choice with their children, right? Will and Jada, that's the personal choice. But those of us who got a little sense, we know something's wrong with that dysfunctional family.
Wow.
When Jada gets up and talk about, I was in an entanglement, that's a dysfunctional family. I don't give a damn how much money they got. They dysfunctional. And you can't make me see that they normal. Stop trying to make them they're not normal. You get your son to become a girl. You sit there, your wife on national television talking about she was in an entanglement. Come on, family.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
a mental health issue. All of them need help. Darn it.
Good deal. Let me step in, Muhammad, because I'm gonna tell you something, brother. You gonna put it out there. You definitely gonna put it out there, man. I definitely appreciate that. Let me go to Willa. Willa, what's on your heart? And good morning, Willa. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem. I don't know who that was just talking, but he was talking the real stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's just look at the big picture. You know, you could be a Will, or you could be a Jada, because you got to look at the big pictures on what he's saying. That's how the enemy works to destroy humans' lives. We always say every day, this is a spiritual world. We were just talking last week by somebody was saying that if you said something about my mama, what I'm going to do. That's how the enemy works. He works with the immaturity of our spirituality to destroy you and your life. If you did something and you defended something, yes, that you thought was right, you got to look at the cause and effect. If I defend something in my family, now I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. Who is going to be there to defend my family now? You got to make the right decisions and the right choices. And you got to fight your battles the way that you know how the right way to fight it. Not a way that is going to put you away. Not a way that is going to kill you. Because he said the things that are right now. You got people that are fighting because somebody said something wrong. And now on down the line, 10 people done died. 20 people done died. If you go back to the root cause of it, all it was somebody told a lie. We got to watch how the enemy tricks us. The enemy tricks us with these foolish ideas that we know words are powerful. But how you going to handle it when somebody tells you something that ain't right? The way I handle it is, If you say something about me, I'm only what I pick up. My name is Wooler. You start calling me all kinds of bees and anything else, you're not talking to me. That's how I handle it. That's how I grow. So what it's trying to say is you have to learn to grow in a world that has no sensitivity to what they say about you, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, anybody else. It's the way you react to what's said to you. You can't control what people say to you, but you can control how you react. And I totally agree with what he said. And it's about maturity and growth. That's what it's about. And when we talk about Christ, when we're talking about God, when we're talking about being like him, that's what it's about.
Good deal. Good deal. Toy with the T coming to you, sis.
Preach. Yes, yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. That's what I'm talking about. So, why do we teach kids? Oh, well, you don't have to react like that just because somebody says something to you. That like that. Sticks and stones will break our bones. But here we is at 40. I wish I would tell a man because they call me bald-headed, piece of head. Oh, you need to defend my honor and go smack the taste out of his mouth. You evil, wicked woman, you. These are words. We grown. Are you kidding me? But like the young man said, absolutely. When you let your son dress like girls, they can do what they want to do. You have sex with whoever you want to have sex with. Now you offended? You should have been offended, sir, for just the light you put out there. Now, you was cool with him. Great accolades and shows and movies and stuff. But when we found out the real, it's an issue. So, yeah, no, I'm not going for that at 40 plus, at almost 50. That because this is what comedians do. So you got alopecia, right? Okay, you bald-headed, right? So what the problem is? What the problem is? What you feeling some kind of way for? Because he made a joke about G.I. Jane? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Now, in my once ghetto ratchet mind, absolutely. I beat a boy because he beat me. I still went to jail. You know why? Because it wasn't right. They still expected me to call the police after he beat me black, purple, and blue. And I said, no, I'm going to go on to jail behind that one. And that's the same thing Will Smith did. So when he decided to get up there and smack somebody, I'm getting gas, sir. When he decided to get up there and smack somebody, he needs to go to jail. The same way when that boy beat me, I went to jail. When I beat him back, it's the same way that Will Smith needs to go to jail for assault because we are comedians. He didn't directly say anything rude. He just said, let me know when the next G.I. Jane 2 came out. I would have took that as a compliment because that lady got paid buku money for G.I. Jane. It was a great movie by a great actress. So I don't see. So Will, that mental problem, it kicked in. And it should have kicked in just like that when them boys wanted to wear skirts and they wanted to have sex with each other. So he was totally out of pocket.
Wow. And it's my thing right there, man. Everybody got their own perspective on it. And perspective. I can't even talk this morning. I ain't had no coffee, y'all. I went a whole week on that water challenge. I got me a cup of coffee yesterday, boy. It kind of shook me up a little bit. It kind of shook me up a little bit. I wasn't used to it, brother. I ain't hit out for the boy for a whole week. But anyway, let's keep this thing going. Let me go to Tucson. Tucson, what's on your heart, bro? What are you seeing in this whole situation, Tucson? Slapping each other and beating each other down and all kind of stuff, man. What's really going on?
I think that inward wounds sooner or later show.
Mm-hmm.
You can hide it, you can dress it up, you can pamper it, you can do whatever you want to. But sooner or later, what's really bothers you in life, it'll come out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean any harm.
Uh-oh.
But it come out right here.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
Whether any one of us know it or not, what really affected you along the time in life, it come out right here.
Mm-hmm.
And you fly off the handle.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know it. You just think you're just talking. I'm just saying, I don't know. This is just me.
Uh-oh.
Remember, it's just me. But see, the thing, I've said it again. This man got a life. L-I-F-E. Did I spell it right?
Yeah. You
can't spell it but one way. And life will hit you. And it'll overwhelm you. even when you try to pretend it out or act it out, sooner or later, the real you comes out, and it just came out. Now, let me say this again. The healthy thing probably would be, and what probably would happen, is one gonna call the other one to their house or somewhere. Look, let's talk. Let's talk this out. You know, yeah, man, I was wrong. You know, I just was in the heat of the moment, and you know, I'm an actor, and he said, but man, you should have knew better. He said, man, yeah, and when you smacked me, I just took it in the story. But we're gonna kick this can, and if we don't, see, society loves this stuff. The ratings will go up. While we done forgot that there are other things in life that are important. This don't mean nothing to me. I mean, you know, I know how women are, and I know how men are. Women and men, they have to have a point where they feel like their honor is there. And so some people don't have cancer. Some people don't have illnesses that cause their outward appearance to change. So you don't understand. I don't expect you to understand. You'll never understand. But those that know what it's like, or they can understand. They might not say, well, he was wrong for smacking him, but he should have punched him in the mouth. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I'm just saying. But Chris realized, I believe he did, because he said it. I'm okay, man. All right. You know. Actually, I saw some sort of I'm sorry, I said that. Look on his face.
Yeah. I shouldn't have went there. Ooh, my jaw still hurting.
But Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how many men? Look at the history, like I said, of the Oscars and the Smiths. It's the same person. She was boycotting the Oscars. Her and her husband.
Because they
didn't win. She made all these acts. Everybody that walks in that room know that host is hired for a particular reason.
Yeah,
he go after anybody sitting in that audience. They know he gonna do it. That's why they hired him. So when we look at it, the bigger picture is, if we take away anything from it, it's violence. It was never acceptable, we were taught, to put our hands on people because of something they said. You can say what you want, but don't put your hands on me. Now, I don't know how you all think violence happened on the street, but it happened just like it happened on stage. Somebody get mad. Next thing you know, they don't shot your birthday party up. Same mentality, because you felt disrespected. Didn't nobody put their hands on you? Didn't nobody put their hands on your people? None of that. But you felt that you was big enough to come and do that, perpetrate some violence on somebody. And then you wonder what's going on in your communities. Imagine a bunch of people who believe that it's okay to hit anybody for saying anything. Now you in your neighborhood.
Wow.
Now you in your neighborhood. And now you have to understand that that's the bigger picture. Is the fact that you can't even control yourself. This man can't control himself in this particular issue only. I don't care what happened before. In that moment, what possesses a Will Smith to get up and assault an individual on stage?
Love.
No, that ain't love. That's a lie.
My love.
That's a lie. And people will say it's love to justify what they did. Just like every brother in the street. You know, that was my girl or whatever.
But see, my thing is, Leonard, we can't tell anybody, whether it is or whether not.
No, you have to tell everybody. You have to teach. You have to teach your young men this.
We on the outside.
You have to.
This situation, I think we all are on the outside looking in and giving our perspective as to what we think or how we feel it went down, and the reasoning behind it all.
He regrets what he did.
I don't know.
Yes, he does.
I don't know.
That's why he was apologizing.
And even
he didn't apologize.
And even if he does regret it, okay, let's go there. He might regret it. It's a such thing called redemption.
Mm-hmm.
It's a such thing as saying, you know what, y'all, I apologize. I got out of character. So what, y'all don't want him to make another movie again? Y'all want them to take the Oscar away?
Like I said, he'll pay for whatever it costs.
You know what I mean? And see, I can almost imagine some people sitting next to their wives while their wives are being disrespected, and just so they could keep the Oscar or stay in accordance with the events, they don't say anything. Because there's jokes in this, and that's what comedians do. You know, but see, this is what I'm thinking about. In this culture in America, some things are off limits. I don't care if it is comedy. Just like it's off limits for somebody to put their hand on somebody, it's off limits for you to make joke about my woman disease, because y'all don't know what I go through at home with her trying to deal with this and going out in public. Yeah, y'all see her on the red table talk, but she ain't in front of a whole lot of people. So what make that cool? Oh, the culture. See, we can cross lines and go and talk about things that are off limits for the sake of entertainment, regardless of the fact that these are human beings that are going through this thing. Imagine somebody picking with the boys that Michael Jackson touched supposedly, and one of them in the audience. Imagine one of Jeff Epstein's victims being in the audience while somebody making a joke about raping little girls and Prince Andrew.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's comedy. That's the culture. That's what they do. So guess why other countries and other people on the other side of the world say that America is poison? But see, once you open up Pandora's box and you cross one line, then somebody else gonna cross another line. Then you're gonna draw another line and somebody else gonna cross a line. That's why you should have no exception. See, they created something, and we want to say, well, it's okay to pick on people's traumas and disabilities for laughs and for money and for jokes and for awards. You know, we're gonna say that, and then the next thing is gonna be something called, like, now what's acceptable is rappers rapping about killing people's children. See, that's what's acceptable now. See, we keep creating a culture that we think is sustainable, but we want to talk about ethics and morals and honor, but we don't observe the ethics. All because of Hollywood. You know, we'll make an exception. So that's what's going on over here. We keep making exceptions for things that make us feel good, and then when the stuff hit the fan, then you want to talk about how people are supposed to respect other people. Well, you're supposed to respect people with disability. You're supposed to respect people that may be in the audience that may have been raped while you're talking about people being raped. You know, I ain't gonna call Toya out, but Toya, imagine you make a movie about your life, and then you go to a show and some comedian get up there and start rapping, cracking jokes about.
Hey, you can't use me. I join on myself. I join on my own trauma. So you can't use me because I don't take things like that. I join on my own trauma because it's still fact and truth.
This the thing,
bro.
That's what you would do.
And it ain't against the law.
Okay. One at a time.
That might be true.
Hold on. We stepping on top of each other. One at a time.
The concept is that a human makes a verbal comment, and because it was wrong, rude, or disrespectful, that you get to get physically violent, that's a no-go. That's a no-go.
No, nobody said it was right.
I didn't say it was right, but I'm trying to make evil out the playing field. I have been teased and joked on, and a lot of times they were rude, but I never put my hands on nobody until they put their hands on me. So is there some truth to what you're saying? Absolutely. But the fact of the matter is that this is reality. And we teach our kids every day that you cannot be moved because someone said something verbal towards you. Black people know it the best because we were spit on, talked about, called coons, alligators, apes, pimps, and we had to endure that because the thin line between us speaking up to defend ourselves towards a cop or someone could have had us murdered. So my thing is there some truth behind respect? Yes. However, if someone says, okay, and I'm going to do this, you so buck tooth, when you bite down on a piece of bubble gum, you cut your toenails, and now you want to fight. No. And you mad because I got a buck tooth disease, and you making fun of my buck tooth disease. Stop. Come on now.
No. Let's talk about something credible. Rape, okay, it wasn't a rape joke. Murder, okay, it wasn't a murder joke. It was a broadhead joke because alopecia. We all go through issues. We all go through problems, and we got to be tough. So what I'm saying is, at our ages, and in a world where we live in a reality where things happen that's not right, the last thing we need to be getting emotional about is because a comedian made a joke about something. So unfortunately, I don't get offended by being raped and all of that, honey. Let me tell you, when I do my stand up and I come at y'all about my rape and my jokes, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, how can she even say that? So it's all about perspective, bro. We being too sensitive. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Way too sensitive.
Tucson, you wanted to say something? Tucson?
Hey, Raheem.
Just saying. We all got a button. I bet you got a button. And there's the right person that can push it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Everybody got a button. That the real you, what really gets you. Let's take this for instance. There are some people that can move on with life by being called the N-word. But there are some other people. You just put the first phrase out your mouth, you're in trouble. And so this society we live in, like drama, until the drama hits our house. So I this is a good conversation, but one thing we are not real, we're not
true. Exactly. Badger, you say you had a question?
Yeah, I'm just trying to process everything. And I like something that Donald hit on is everyone has a button. So I find it quite interesting that not only does it depend on the individual, but it also depends on the topic. Some people can handle racial jokes, but can't handle a joke about a disability, and vice versa. So this whole conversation this morning, for me, just shows the level of where society, our American society, is at. Not everyone's always going to agree. People are always going to bicker amongst one another. And, if comedy is supposed to make us laugh and all that kind of stuff, or even possibly help us get through our trauma brains, then should there ever be a fine line in comedy?
There is.
Or I'm saying it that way because Toya, if I understood her correctly, made a comment about doing stand-up and with her experiences. Was that right, Toya?
That's what she said.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
So, to me, that's sharing an experience. That's not targeting or potentially poking fun at an individual. So, if there's a fine line in that, and it's acceptable to joke about it as an individual, yet it sounds like, depending on who you are and how you take it, it's very individual based on if someone else makes that joke,
and
if it's acceptable or not.
Exactly. Yes.
We got this thing in our family, right? Don't bring nobody around here that stay in their feelings. Because we don't want you around us. Because you're trifling. And this is the thing that everybody walking around. You can't. When I go on stage, Raheem, when I used to go on stage, I'm gonna light you up. You getting it? I don't went behind I don't went behind a gay man with cerebral palsy. I'm lighting him up. If he can tell the jokes, I can tell the jokes.
Yep.
And this notion that I'm gonna be sitting around watching what I say because of how you feel, you can get rid of that. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and if you want to buck, then we can get down. Period.
So the question
let me say this.
There are issues that people don't know. Like if I'm telling a joke on stage and somebody in the back get offended, that's their business. I know the joke I'm telling. I don't practice the joke I'm telling. I'm ready for you. So I don't have no issue with it. It's just a joke. But now if you get in my face about it, then you've caused the problem. I'm talking to 1,000 people, but you think I'm supposed to worry about how you feel? Really? You really think that? You really what the whole notion of that phrase, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, was a way to teach children to be able to accept the fact that everybody's not going to say what you like, everybody's not going to be your friend or what have you, but you still have some value in yourself. So don't worry about what they say because they gonna say it. That's for sure. How you react is what I'm trying to discipline.
And that's why I was asking the question earlier about, is it what happened to you or how you react to what happened to you? That's the biggest part. But my thing is, I never really agree with that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, because
Me neither.
words can really damage a person, man. You could beat somebody, and in a month from there, the wounds will go away. But if you could say something to them and they could carry that thing with them for 20, 30, or 40 years. And so that's
right.
why I've never bought into that. Words will never hurt me. I never bought into that because I know how damaging words could be. Somebody want to say something?
But Raheem,
Yes.
it's still all on how you decide to handle it, though.
Yes, it is.
Because that might be true. It may all hurt. But at the end of the day, if I'm sensitive enough, and I thank my father for teaching me how to be tough. Because let me tell you, from words to action, just like Will when it smacked the taste out of this dude, we're going to use an example, right? What if this lady come crack a joke about stealing my money by that house? Would I want to feel like slapping her teeth down her throat? Of course, I would probably feel like it. But I have learned and gained enough self-control at this age to understand you don't do that. Because I don't care what I say. If you come put your hands on me, I'm going to give you that heat.
Thank you.
Because you don't do that. That's another individual. Listen, you can feel what you want to feel. You can say how you want to say. That's a joke. Ha, ha, ha. But how I handle it and process it, and again, because I was taught, because listen, I come from a family. The reason why I'm tough was because my father he trained me to take it. So he would joan on me, and then he would have a conversation. Listen, baby girl, people are going to say things. Sometimes they're going to say this because they mean it, because they got parents who not teaching them no better. But what you cannot do is you cannot allow the world to say things to you, and you live your life over what other people said. This is who you are. This is what you're going to do. And everything from this point depends on you. So at the end of the day, if a person takes that and deals with it negatively than positively, it still has nothing to do with the other person. That's all how you decide to take that and move that situation. So you might say, oh, well, all I did was say he was stupid and in a joking way. But because you don't know no better, he come back with a gun and shoot you. And you say, oh, well, that shouldn't have been like that. No, you don't let what someone says or what they call you, because you don't know why they're doing it. It don't matter, but you never jeopardize your life because of the thought of some other human being and what they said to you. We fight when it comes to honor and defending, not because of words, man. No.
Good. I understand that, but like I still don't buy into the words can hurt me. I understand what y'all are saying, and I'm not saying that y'all are wrong, but I know that words can be very harmful sometimes for a lifetime. Go ahead, Leonard.
Same issue with critical race theory. Same issue. There's a group of people that don't want you to talk about it because it's going to make them feel bad. So they don't think you should talk about it. You go along with that?
No, that's
exactly.
I think there
are going to be things said about you that you don't like. Plain and simple as that. Now, if you choose to fight everybody and to settle all your issues with whatever weapons or your fists or whatever, live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Okay, hold on. I got to tell some more people, brother. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, what's on your heart right now?
Yeah, once again, our perspectives, how you feel about it, and that's fine. I have no problem with how people feel about, what happened. It was targeted. It was not a joke in an open setting, and you just telling your joke because you're a comedian. That's what it was. That was targeted at Jada. And whatever we think about Jada, that's that man's wife. That's his wife. And he made a decision based on how he feels about his wife. If you would not do that for your wife or your child or whoever, it's okay. You have that right. But he made a decision that could have led to whatever, and he obviously was prepared for whatever, because he went up and did it. That was his choice. So whether we like it, we don't like it, that man was defending his wife. And whoever she is, whatever you feel like she's done or hadn't done, he had a right to do that because that's his wife.
That's good. That's good. Got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good morning, brother. Bishop.
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great.
Let me ask you something. We talk about the slap from last night, but let me ask you this question. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. Do you agree with that?
Heck no, man. Words just as offensive as a stick and stone. I've preached it many times before. People can kill you with not so much with a gun or a knife. They can kill you with their words. The words can get you so hard pressed that you commit suicide, or have people have different views and opinions by you because somebody running off at their mouth.
Wow.
That's why, the Bible said the tongue is an unruly evil. It didn't say the knife or the gun. It said the tongue is an unruly evil. But that's why you have to be careful what you say and what come out your mouth. Because when it come out, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
And the damage that it has done to someone's reputation or someone's character is terrible.
Absolutely.
So that old adage, sticks and stone may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie. Like, man, you can get hurt by saying the wrong thing to the wrong person. And I heard y'all talking about what happened last night. I was sitting there and I was devastated. And I'm thinking to myself, hey, man, that man defended the honor of his wife. This man was throwing off on his wife. Now, would I have done it? I don't know. If I was him, yeah, I would have did it. But looking at it, would I have done it? I don't know. I went in that situation.
Yeah.
And his reactions were his. Mine would have been mine.
Wow, that's good.
So,
that's good.
I'll tell you what, he got some kudos from with Jada last night. And he walked away with the Oscar. Hello.
Lord
That's
Jesus.
right.
Now, Captain Dennis, what's on your heart, brother?
Well, let me say this. I want to make it very clear to my brother Leonard. See, we have to understand when you look at the definition of a joke. We not defining what is a joke, and we're not defining from a joke from an insult. We can't put insult and said it was a joke, and we can't put a joke and said it was an insult. So when those who are in the comedian world, there's some things that you just have to have the intelligence, not to go certain ways. Now, if you think it's a joke, but ain't no damn body laughing, then is it a joke? Is it a joke? No. If everybody, you say something, ain't nobody laughing, it was just a joke. But to who? You? But to everybody else, man, it was a bad, distasteful joke. So there got to be some kind of rules on what comedians, and it's just being a human thing. You don't sit there, man just lose his mother died. And then you make a joke about his mother's death. So, I wouldn't, but maybe you wouldn't. But there's some fools out there that cross the line. At the same time, the sad part about this whole Will Smith is that it gives a bad example to young people who are already making bad decisions. When you got people like them in a celebrity light do that, you give the okay for young people who don't know right from wrong, left from right, up from down. Now they're going to say, I'm doing like Will Smith did. And then when they do it, it ain't gonna come out the same way. It may come out with guns. That's the sad part about that whole thing that I feel bad about. It sends a bad signal to young people who right now, they are in the barbershop talking about that. And they already let words. I like what you said, dear brother, about sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, now words, you got mental abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse. Verbal abuse is words. And that's when I heard the bishop say, there's people, them young people who are being bullied in school who commit suicide. They commit suicide because of words. Here come this old geek. Here come this words. They would probably been better if they beat them with sticks and stones. That can heal. But you can't heal from words. Words are going to always be in your subconscious. Are going to always, we are shaped. Listen to me, family. We are the sum total of words. Our whole life has been made up of words. We have learned to swallow insult. We know, man, mothers back during slavery, she had to teach her son to accept insult because the very nature of any human being is not to accept insult. Martin Luther King, may God be pleased with him, and we'll be honoring him on his on April the 4th. Almost 50-some years he been up the day he was assassinated. But look at Martin. Martin believed in that no matter how much you show me you hate me, no matter how much you beat me, I'm going to still love you. Well, that was a good principle. But did it work? That's my point. Did Martin Luther King, who took all them insults, who took all them bricks, took all them sticks, and ultimately lost with his life, did we say, oh man, we won on that nonviolence? We really won on that. But then we come back and look at what we're doing today. So did Martin Luther King die in vain? There's a man that took all those insults, and them and the Black Panthers, and most certainly members of the nation, you know, you ain't gonna sit there and hit me with a brick and a stick. I'm gonna say, thank you, sir, I need another one. You ain't gonna spit in my face at a lunch counter and pour milkshake on my head, and I ain't gonna say nothing. See, I wasn't born for that era. But if we accomplish something, then I can say it worked. But what did we accomplish when we're the most violent to each other? We can say nonviolent to white people, but we can't say nonviolent to each other. Did it work? So we got to understand that everything we see of words. So when Will Smith did it, it was not, he didn't look at it, the millions of people, but all the young people that admire Will Smith, you just gave them an okay that if somebody say something about your mama, somebody say something about you, you can say, I'm gonna do like Will Smith did. What they, everybody ain't gonna be no Chris Rock. Everybody ain't gonna be no Chris Rock. You gonna hit me, smack me, it ain't gonna be no gunplay down the street. You see? So that was the sad part about this whole thing, the example that he set among young people who's already making bad decisions.
Good deal.
Now,
Absolutely.
the beautiful thing would happen if they did, somebody sit them down, Denzel and some other, and they come out and do a joint statement. And then Will Smith would say, I was wrong. And then Chris Rock said, I was wrong. And then Will Smith would say, I want to say this to all those who seen that night. That actions was not justified. I just let my emotions get the best of me. And I could have handled it in a better way. But please forgive me. And I don't want none of you young people let these kind of words lead you into what I did to my brother right here. And they both hug each other. And that's the end of the saga. We can use this as a teaching moment. We really can. If the right things is done. I thank you for tolerating me. And that's all I have to say.
Good deal. Good deal. We got another caller. K with the E. K with the E. Words, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. Do you agree with that, Kay? And good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm blessed, and I don't believe in that because even the Bible tells us better than that. So I know the word, and it tells us your tongue is That's worse than a double-edged sword. So
Mm-hmm.
just imagine it's over. I know it's at least 69, probably 60-some verses about your tongue. And
Amen.
we don't know what Will Smith and them be going through. We don't know what nobody go through. That's why we got so many deaths going around in the world, because we don't know if somebody stepped on somebody's shoe that they just paid $10,000 for, $1,500 red bottoms or whatever they cost, and you didn't say excuse me. Now you done lost your life. You didn't bump into somebody and didn't say excuse me. You lost your life. You talked about somebody's mama. You lost your life. You talked about their little sister because she's retarded. You lost your life. That's why we got so many killings, because people's tongues is saying things and it's cutting people, and they coming back for revenge. We don't know. If Will Smith wouldn't have stood up for his wife, he could have went home and she would have said, well, you didn't even stand up for me. But he did stand up for her because it wasn't a comment.
Are y'all there?
Yeah, he got stuck again.
Okay, everything went silent. I don't know. To me, this whole situation is absolutely crazy and wild.
I think anytime you try to justify something, it gets wrong. But Captain Dennis says what needs to happen is the reconciliation between the two individuals that it occurred to. Will Smith knew he was wrong for what he did, and one, I'm not for I don't support men who allow women to provoke them to do evil things, or however they call it. The point of the matter is one is you do not put your hands on someone that does not put their hands on you. That's one thing. This was not he was defending his wife. Defending what? They were sitting in the audience. He was standing up at the mic. There was no imminent threat to Jada Pinkett Smith at all.
So glad I'm
So
tired of drinking
so
water.
There we
so
go.
basically that's what he just decided to do.
Okay. I am back, y'all. Appreciate y'all patience. Appreciate y'all patience. The computer hadn't had his coffee this morning. I guess I had mine, but it has not had his. Kay, you was finishing your thoughts, sis?
I was telling them we don't have no control. Like the computer kicked us off. That's God's work. God, we have no control over nothing we do. So Will Smith got up there and he did what he did. Chris Rock did what he said what he said. And you know, my mama had a thing said, you know, let me say the right things, and Lord nudged me when I said enough. Well, he nudged Chris Rock when he said enough, and he nudged Will to get to have the power to go up there and smack him. And anybody else that will say something like that because they got enough going on in their life. That's the last thing. It just wasn't a comedian show. It just wasn't. It wasn't called for.
Exactly.
And so you could say something about women. A lot of women going around cutting their hair. You have to put no name on it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So, yeah, go ahead, Leonard.
Raheem, also, I just want to point out, Dave Chappelle tickets go on sale today at 10 o'clock a.m. for the Atlanta Comedy Theater today at 10 o'clock. That's one. But also, I wanted to say, because it don't seem like you're going to get to your topic today.
I'm not.
Right.
I tried earlier, brother. I tried.
Yeah, but one of the things about that topic is that's one thing about me that I have over most people. Discipline. Your reactions does not determine, your actions do not determine my reactions.
That's right.
That's
complete discipline is the only thing I have over most people. One, because I know when to keep my mouth shut. I know how to move. I know what conversations to entertain and what not to. Very well in my lane. No man walking the face of this earth can tell I've ever attacked him out of malice. Ever. Because I don't practice that. So what? Say that again, sir.
No, I was singing that song, man. I never hit a man that didn't deserve it. Oh,
Man, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't get down like that. You know, that's like the litmus test for me. Is you putting your hands on me?
Been living
You know, so when I see people doing things, always talking about somebody else made me or provoked me or whatever, you a fool. And you better have to learn how to get that under control quickly. There are a lot of young brothers laying in their grave right now because of this. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you know you on the wrong side of the equation. Especially if you're on the wrong side. You know, so we have to, and like, say, for instance, when somebody say, oh, I remember when I was making this thing, like, say, for instance, you got a friend named Jerome, and Jerome got a big nose, right? Now, so in the neighborhood, guess what? They're going to call you Big Nose Jerome a lot of times.
Yeah.
They don't mean that they're not trying to hurt your feelings. But one, you may be, because of that feature, I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, it is.
But that gives you the right to go around punching people out.
Jerome get tired of people calling him a big nose. He knows what's on his face. He don't need you to point out what's on his face. It's on his face. He knows what's on his face.
Because what's going to happen is, like, say, for instance, it was funny because, one, there were so many jokes inside of that one that he told about G.I. Jane, as if because, one, she's so insistent on winning Oscars, her and her husband, that, one, guess what? G.I. Jane ain't up for this. You won't be best actress doing G.I. Jane. You know, some people could have took it that way, making a pun at that.
It's going to be made jokes by comedians all around the world and the country. Just that. That's going to become the new joke.
Yeah.
So comedians going to work it now.
Yeah,
comedians
because I listen
that joke.
Because I listen to over 25 comedians every day, just to see what type of material they doing and everything. It's a lot worse than that.
You listen to my comedy? Okay.
I like your fishing videos. But anyway, I listen to a lot of comedians, and trust me, it was that's so rude. It's ridiculous. Comedy's nasty business. I mean, it's that type of say what's on your mind. That's why people get into it. It's the last place where you can speak your mind. And then you have to be free enough to speak your mind, which is what Dave Chappelle is trying to show us right now. You know what? If I can't do it how I want to do it, and wait a minute, you don't try to change my joke. That ain't what I meant. That ain't how I said it. So now I'm gonna change it. He
might not tell that joke again. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm thinking the same thing, man. First off, I listen. There's a difference between the joke and the insult. And don't get me wrong, I catch a little slick. I ain't gonna say I almost slipped in. I catch slick references every now and then, but sometimes I'm the bigger person and don't respond. But see, at times you might not be able to control yourself. Sometimes you might have complete control over yourself, but you don't control the other person.
Yeah.
So guess what? If it gets to a point where you know this man here can't take a joke real good, but I got the right to say what I want to say. Well, you got the right to catch whatever he come with too, even though he ain't got the right to hit you. Guess what he do? He put his hands on people. And whatever consequence come behind that, he'll accept that too. So you accept what comes with it, with your jokes. Accept that whooping that might come with it, and then go back and talk about how that was so unfair for him to do that to you. Because that is true. He didn't have the right to do that. He shouldn't have put his hands on him. But Kay said something, man. Don't nobody know what he was going through with Jada in that house every day when her going through this.
Exactly.
And then we come out this sticks and stones stuff. Man, Captain Dennis keeps saying it. Now, a lot of times he got an amen crew coming behind him, but I'm listening. Y'all ain't saying what he's saying. Y'all don't agree. What he is saying is that, man, listen, I said it earlier. I might have been the first person to say it. Many people have killed themselves over words. Something that somebody said to them. But sticks and stones break my... Oh, that sounds quite so American. Like I said, when does a line deserve to not be crossed? In the name of comedy or entertainment or money. So now when you see that one person cross the line, now you got to cross another line. Now when the line get crossed the way you don't want it to, I can say what I want to say. Well, what you said made somebody blow their own brains out.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're weak.
Right.
Now they're emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they dead.
Yeah.
But they dead.
Exactly.
But you know what, Raheem? That's like the mama jokes. People don't know how people feel. And I take mama jokes real serious. And we were standing there talking and somebody said it. And I walked away. And then I went back and told the girl, you almost got smacked. And I really thank God for where I'm at in my life right now. I said, but I ain't even going to talk to you no more because I don't do the mama jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And don't you ever, as long as your name is what it is, say a mama joke to me or around me. You wait till I leave.
Mm-hmm.
And you respect mama jokes. And I meant that. I don't do mama jokes.
Exactly.
Kate just said
Raheem, can I throw this?
Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to throw this out there, right? Because see, this is what I was suicidal for 20 years. Been there, done that. Been there, took pills and tried it, lived promiscuous, did all kind of things, literally chasing death. So I did it. But at the end of the day, coming from that, right? God delivered me from that now. But throughout that, I've always been bold. But this is where the line goes, right? The line goes when you cross the line of verbal. I get it. I done been talked about. Like I said, my own family. I've been betrayed time behind time. But again, if I get out of pocket because of your words, it's because I allowed myself. If I would have committed suicide, and a lot of people knew, my family knew, I talked about it all the time. I just didn't have the power to pick up the gun and do it because I felt like I would live and be jacked up. So let me just try to put myself in situations to die. Mm-hmm. But I've been delivered. But if I would have done that, it would have still been because that wrestle that I fought with every day about what people said and about what things had gone to me, I would have let it overcome me.
Mm-hmm.
But see, throughout that time, it was a constant battle. And I just knew something would just tell me, Toya, if you kill yourself, you're going to be weak now. Like, you can do this. But it was still a battle for over 20 years. And being delivered from it and looking back, I see it now. At the end of the day, just like any other choice or decision we make, we cross the line when you allow, you are right, words do cut like a sword. The thought of a mother telling you, you're the reason why he molested you. Of course that hurts. Enough for you to want to murder the whole family. But the line is crossed when you allow verbal to cross physical. Because saints, he said, I walk through the valley of a shadow of death. So if I got the strength to walk through that, I cannot allow with my God, and I'm so glad I held on to see how good he was. I cannot allow a person's words to put me in a position to where I would want to physically harm someone because we know that the true fight is between spirits and principalities. So God allowed it, and again, this is just for me with all I've been through. Mm-hmm. And I can be reckless with my mouth too. But if you put your hands on me, you might as well go ahead and get ready for that heat. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. And I like I said, I can understand both sides of the coin. I could definitely understand both sides of the coin, but I kind of still lean to the thing where, words could be very, very, very damaging. Words could be very damaging. Captain Dennis.
Look, Raheem.
Yes.
Look, if he would have beat me up, I'd have been like, you remember that time Will Smith beat me up for talking about his wife? And it is what it is.
Good deal. Captain Dennis.
Yes, sir.
I have a fella. You might know Minister Neil. He just chimed in and told me to tell you hello. He said, no, he told me to tell you what's up.
Oh, man, give my brother my love, man. Give him my love. Let me say this.
Yeah, he's listening right now.
To everyone. Dear family, everyone who can hear my voice, I respect every one of your opinions. God knows I respect it. And this is not a right or wrong. It's only based upon, you putting your feet in that man's shoes and say, what would I have done? That's the best we could have done. I can't say what would Brother Leonard. Brother Leonard, he's a very disciplined person, but everybody ain't disciplined like Brother Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
There's some of us is touch-offs. And one thing about it, even though we talk about that brother with that big nose and he's been fighting anybody may, but at least people know, hey man, whatever you do, don't talk about that nigga's big nose now. Don't say nothing about that nose. So it also had a nice effect on it. You know, they wait till he leave, but then no, man, I seen that dude tear somebody out of the frame, man, on that nose. Partner, no, don't go there. See, there have to be some people, you know, don't go there with them. They ain't cut like that. They just not cut like that. Right. Some people can take a joke, some people can't. It's just the human nature. And they not that they wrong, but you, and like my sister on it, you don't know the experience they coming. Do you know how many men who grew up, young boys, where the mama said, you ain't nothing, you never gonna be nothing, you like your no good daddy, he wasn't SIHT, and you ain't gonna never be that? Do you know the mental effect that that has on a young male child? You can never understand that. It could be a motivating factor, or it could be the reason they become a crackhead and nobody. It can go both ways.
Yeah.
But it is a scar. It is and I like what the sister said. I had a situation, and God knows I was gonna handle it the way I was gonna handle it, but my daughter, she's not no longer with me. She was molested by her uncle. And when I found out about it, I was getting ready to do what I would normally do. I was going to take his life. It was Minister Farrakhan who told me. He showed me the scenario thing. He said, Brother Dennis, if you take that man's life, then the mother's going to lose a son, a daughter going to lose. And he showed how everybody going, and we're going to lose you to the penitentiary. Then he said, this is what I would do. So I took his advice, and that man's alive today. But the bottom line is, her mother kind of believed that my daughter brought it on. And now my daughter and the mother, before she left, they wasn't gelling, because how would you believe your brother before you believe your daughter? And there's a lot of that going on between the mother and the daughter. And you brought, like you said, you brought it on yourself. Do you know how scarring and hateful that is? So we're talking about mental health, like with Sister Cassandra. See, we really, Black people, we are very dysfunctional, man. And we have to admit that. I got issues. We all got issues. There's nobody on this line that is totally healed. You don't know my experience, I don't know yours. But the best we can do is always agree to not to disagree. That we all want to see this reconciled. I believe everybody on this line, we would love to see them both come before the American people.
Yes.
And hug each other. And who's going to be mad about that? There's going to always be those who are going to say, man, I never made up with that. I don't know why Will did that. Man, see, there's always be people like that. But if you're a good Christian human being, if you're a good Muslim human being, we want to see peace. I don't give a doggone how we look at situations. I love peace.
Yes.
We can't say we with the Prince of Peace and don't want to see peace.
Come on.
We want to see peace and reconciliation between our two brothers, man. I want to see it between Kanye and D.L. Hooper. I want to see it with Monique. I want to see peace, man, because we're dying over the most senseless things. We are already living in a community that's full of violence. These young people don't know how to make. So if we see them come and we see them reconcile before the world, man, I'm gonna have a Kool-Aid smile on my face, man. I said, that's what I'm talking about.
Good deal.
And
Good
if we
deal.
can show we can reconcile our differences, then maybe countries can reconcile. Maybe Putin and them can sit down and reconcile their differences with the Ukraine. You understand? We got to learn, man, to avoid war by all means.
Exactly.
War, exactly. Know, they say war begins when negotiations break down and end. So I want to see peace between our two brothers. I prayed for both of them. I'm not saying my man was right. I'm not saying my man was wrong. But one thing about it, you know, it brought out what I like what's concerned is bringing out. We have mental health issues that's in the world, in our community, and it's among the actors. They the one who's taking these drugs and ODing. They got issues. They got money, but they got issues.
Good deal.
So
good deal.
Thank God that we can think the best of them, man. That's all. I want to see peace in the world, and I want to see peace with everybody on this line. And I'm going to say that my name is Captain Dennis, and most certainly I am present for peace.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Willa, what's on your heart?
Amen, Raheem. I just totally agree with what he's saying about peace in this world. You know, we are human beings, and you're right. Don't nobody know what anybody is going through. That's why it's so important that we try to treat everybody the same. You know, this road rage and all this name calling, that ain't nothing but devices of what the enemy uses to try to destroy us every day. He tries to destroy the very thing that God loves. So I just want to know this whole 2 hour of conversation. Did anybody learn anything? Did anybody say, you know what? That person makes sense. I'm gonna change the way how I allow the enemy to affect me, do things in my life today. I'm gonna look at this conversation and say, you know what? I'm inspired by it. You know, I'm gonna change how I react to a certain. So when we talk on this line, it should be not only about inspiration, but it should be about change. To change the way that God wants to see his children act every day. We are born in his image. We are supposed to learn and be transformed through our minds. Yes, there's mental illness out there. So that means that we need to help those who are mentally sick, who are mentally weak, who need that inspiration from God. So that's what I want to see. I love being on this line. But I want to see people say, you know what? I've learned something today.
Yes.
And I'm going to change something about my life because I heard it on Raheem's show.
Al show. Good deal. Good deal. Man, I'm looking at the clock. It's 10:01, man. I want to touch a few more people before we get it. Curtis, give me a quick version, brother. What's on your heart?
What you say? Give you a quick version.
Yes, sir. We got to get out of here, man. 10:01, man. 10:01. We got to go, man. I'm going to try to touch.
Almost 35.
Huh?
Anyway, everybody said everything that needed to be said. I really don't have an opinion on it one way or the other. Will felt like he did what he had to do, and Chris said what he felt like he needed to say. You know, if you keep coming for folk gonna check you on that. I just found out that ain't the first time that happened. That he disrespected that man's wife in 2016.
Yeah.
At the Oscars. So, you know, you get what your hand. Okay, short version. Hey, young folk, you get what your hand called for.
Exactly.
That's the short version. So if Will is never invited to the Oscars again or anything like that, or never invited to another award ceremony or kicked out of Hollywood, you get what your hand called for. You smack the life out that man, smack the fire out his mouth. Then guess what? That's going to be the end result. Chris, that's what you disrespected that man.
Now, Curtis, I said a quick version, brother.
The life smacked out you. So
now, Curtis,
you know.
Then I said a quick.
Curtis.
Curtis.
He told you he didn't have no quick version.
But good Lord.
Well, that's my quick version. You done had me sitting on hold for 35, 45 minutes.
But did you learn something?
I still got the same opinion.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Hey, hold on. Toussaint, give me your quick version. Give me your quick version, Toussaint.
I had a superintendent of the Sunday school. He used to close out and he said, "Lord, help me keep my mouth shut till I know what I'm talking about."
Good deal. Good deal. Badger, give me your quick version. Quick version.
You know, I was really hoping this to come after Cap because I agree with what he's saying. It's quite interesting how some people are like, "Don't let the words bother you," and it's just a joke. But it'd be interesting how some of these people would respond if there was jokes using the N-word or calling a person a cracker or all this other kind of stuff. Wonder if the response would be the exact same, because it's interesting that people in this society that became sensitive to these things fought to be treated as equals.
Good deal.
And then people want to
quick version. Yeah. Yep.
Well, I've been waiting to talk, so
okay, Badger,
didn't get a chance.
Badger, give me your quick version, Cassandra. Cassandra, quick version.
It was good. It was good.
Okay, let me see who else I got here. Willa, quick. I think I'm gonna touch Willa already. Kay, give me your quick version.
I remember that thing my mama said. It said, "Lord, give me the words to say and nudge me when I said enough."
Good deal. Bishop, quick version.
Bottom line is, behind every action will be a reaction. Then there'll be a reaction to your reaction. So be careful what you say and be careful what you do.
Good deal. Toya with a T, quick version.
Yeah, real quick. I'd have been like, baby, now you know we should have handled that differently, but it don't matter. You know I'm finna give you some tonight.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
Now
Lord.
that's what I'm talking about.
Rico, quick version, brother. I don't know what Toya
Yep.
Toya just took a turn. She took a left turn, y'all.
Yes, Toya. Yes, Toya. You were right.
Oh, did Cassandra go? Did you skip Cassandra?
No. I'm going back to Cassandra.
Okay. Look, man, we skipped the issue, man, but Willa said something huge about the change. We come on here because we want to see change in society and in our community. But at the same time, we don't want to change some of the things that we love and embrace and cherish. And that's what's going on. But see, when it comes down to respect and consideration, there are some lines that can't be crossed. But once again, we see this behavior of, well, we'll make an exception because it's funny. We'll make an exception because it's jokes. And then one thing goes to another. So now we see the consequences behind it. So, it comes down to the fact that some things have to remain off limits. And at the same time that they are off limits, we have to make sure we don't go against those standards. Or we would have these consequences where the next person will cross that line again, all in the name of jokes and entertainment. So I agree with man, Dennis and Willa when they came in behind that, man. I mean, we really, skipped over the fact that the other issue is black women have been saying that they don't feel black men have been protecting them. So guess what he did last night for black women?
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of black women looking at that like, man, you know what, man? He stood up for his wife. And then we got some quote unquote comedians, but guess what? One major comedian said. Tiffany Haddish said she loved it. She loved seeing that black man stand up for his wife and not sit there and let her look embarrassed. He could have did it differently, but he had to do something.
Exactly. Quick word. Let me go to Cassandra. Cassandra, quick version.
You already been to me. I'm done.
Okay. Good deal. Captain, quick version.
Man, ain't no quick version with me. I enjoyed myself. I did learn something. Believe me, I did. Thank you all for giving me something that I can walk away with that's tangible.
Absolutely. To God be the glory. Absolutely. Now, Rico, what is going on at 3:00 today?
I'm about to get a quick version. If you missed today's broadcast, we'd like to see it in the series. www.detailmedia.com and Detail Media Standard Time.
Look at here. Woo! And that was the quick version. Willa!
Hey, man. Good morning. Everybody.
Willa!
Let's go.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's go, Willa.
Amen. Oh, Lord, Father, thank you for this show today, Lord. Father, thank you so much for waking us up this morning to come together, Lord. Father, in spite of what we saw on yesterday, Lord, Father, we know that we're going to glorify you in this world, Lord. We're going to be that light that you say we should be. We're going to allow the Holy Spirit to dwell in our vessels. We're going to allow him to lead us, guide us, direct us, and show us your ways, O Lord. Father, we thank you so much for the grace and the mercy that you bestow on us, Lord. Father, teach us how to forgive. Teach us how to love. Teach us how to be kind to one another, Lord. Father, we know that we're still human and we have our frailties in this life. But one thing about it, Lord, you left your word so that we would instill our words in our hearts so that we will not sin against you. Thank you, Lord, for being our life. Thank you for the power, Lord. We thank you. Touch each and every last one that's on this line. In Christ Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Anybody got anything before we get out of here?
Yeah, Raheem.
Uh-oh.
The water was really good for 7 days.
There you go. It helped you, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I really stuck to it.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that it helped me, but I stuck to it.
Yeah, and you know, I'm gonna tell you something. I actually I did it. I stopped it on yesterday. I started mine Saturday or last week, so I did I think 8 days. I think that's what it was. But it was good. I got water right here beside me right now, and I bought all this other water. Now I got to figure out what to do with it. But
Drink it.
You gotta keep on drinking it.
I'm not gonna go back.
Keep on drinking.
If I take it up, I'm gonna leave it out.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was good. I really
That's
enjoyed it.
right.
Rico, you was about to say something?
If water ain't good for you, wash your face with some Coke then.
I'm gonna wash my face with that water.
Lord.
I ain't drinking. I ain't had no Coke, so I was like, I'm good. If I can get that Coca-Cola up like that, I'm good. Water and tea and strawberry banana smoothies.
Exactly. Rico, you was about to say something?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you what you did with them slabs you caught yesterday.
Oh man, I froze them, put them in the freezer. They're in the freezer right now. As a matter of fact, my wife want to have, because I've been catching a lot of fish lately, man. And the freezer we got a lot of fish in the freezer. She want to get rid of us, so we're gonna have a fish fry. Anybody want to come? Y'all definitely more than welcome. Y'all like fish? Y'all like seafood?
That was up. Man, I'm gonna give you your props, man. You did your thing, man. That was some nice slab, man. Right? He know his thing when it comes to that fishing. Y'all don't know. If he tell you he can do it, go ahead and believe him.
Like, and I try. I look at Enrico. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for that, man. But I try to prove my point on the tennis court, but you know how that went, though. Look, that didn't play. I told you what. Huh?
It's a different type of net.
Yeah, it is. But like I said, I told Rico, I told you how I was gonna play us about dinner. I told you I was ready.
Yep.
I see. It ain't gonna happen. I see it ain't gonna happen, man. But if she listening, it's spring and summertime now. Still got time. If you're listening,
ain't nobody forgot. Even though she a year late, ain't nobody forgot.
And I told you, I can do this, and I can hit the ball, and I can do this, I can do that. Oh yeah, okay. Well, come and show me. Well, don't tell me about it.
I played in California.
What you say?
Yeah, I played in California and all that.
Exactly. But look at, we ain't in California, but we still play tennis over here. We still play tennis. But listen, it's 10:12, man. I got to get on out of here, man. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:12. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. You get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please be blessed.